kids, guess what time it is? That's right. It's time to grab your ankles and get some SML podcast all up in that.
A haiku from Zach Lyons. Pappy is a guy who somehow always managed to suck at games. His name is a lie. True moniker is Taras. But that's fucking dumb. What games do you play other than yours to relax? That was his question. Sometimes Joe stole it, and he has the right to do, because it's his show. I'll never forget the memorable way he peed each episode. Who will take his place? Literally anyone. He's replaceable. Seriously, though, good luck to you, my good man. All the best, Pappy. And we have to work? What the hell?
Well,
You guys
we
can
got
drive
it.
the car.
Right into the rocks. Let's do this.
I'm Titanic, this son of a bitch. What's up, everyone? This is the SML podcast. I am your host, Joe, joined as always by Mr. Chris Huber. How you doing?
Ooh.
And for what could be the final time, Pappy, you're here
Yeah, I am here in spirit.
for now.
Spirit.
So I guess the big news of the week so far is, Pappy, you told me earlier this week that you're going to be taking a break from the show, be it permanently or temporarily, or probably permanently because you hate us.
I finally couldn't pretend anymore. I want you to... I don't want you to die in a fire, but I just want one of your limbs to spontaneously combust.
Hey, whatever makes you happy.
Oh,
it's
wait.
not like you got to sit and Sharpie out 300 business cards with some asshole's name on it that's not a part of the show anymore.
Well, I figured you were doing that with Chris's name anyway, so I just save you the time.
Yeah, you'll just have to get just plain SML podcast cards.
I'm going to have to order new cards now.
It's okay.
This
With
is what I
Joe
get
Cam
for trying to be
and-
inclusive with my co-hosts.
That'll teach you.
Well, hey, I'm technically not going anywhere. It just sucks that my schedule blows. That's all.
Well, hey, at least we're not constricted to Thursday recordings from Pappy anymore, so we can record on days year-round.
Tuesdays, we'll
Yay.
do game news, we'll do new releases, we'll do all that stuff.
Oh, man, good times. So, despite Pappy leaving, we went ahead and have a guest that we care about more than Pappy anyway.
I mean, let's face facts. That would have been the fact anyways.
Very true. Mr. Guest, I'm not even going to
Mr.
call
Guest.
your name because you're trying to steal my name, but how about you go ahead, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, what you do, and why you're on our dumb show.
My name is Joe Modzeleski. I am the head of M07 Games. It is a single-man independent development studio. I make really bad, dumb indie games. What am I doing on this show? Apparently now it seems like my objective is to defend this poor Pappy fellow that I just met.
No, he doesn't deserve it.
You do have to understand that I think this is the nicest thing Joe said to me in about 2 months.
Really is.
We've known each other for far longer than most human beings have been around on this planet.
BC.
That's okay, all right, that's impressive.
Yeah.
I'm getting a real epic ancient vibe from your friendship here.
Yeah, oh yeah. What does not kill us makes us angrier at each other.
Son of a bitch.
It's honestly, being on the show with both of them at the same time, it's kind of like having my own version of Grumpy Old Men.
Yeah.
It's like when your parents just used to bitch and you're just sitting there in the middle guys, no, there's a really simple solution here. Let's just please not fight. I'm stuck in the middle of this.
Stop fighting.
No.
Chris,
Yeah,
it is your fault that Mommy and Daddy are breaking up.
I know. Listen, it's not the first time, so I...
Damn.
Ow.
Okay. Well, so before we get into the
Getting deep.
the kind of podcast where, that they'll be introducing this into fucking a psychology textbook.
It's actually in the Nihilism Hall of Fame.
I think I just learned that it's okay to swear on this podcast.
Very much so.
Oh yeah.
Say whatever the
yeah.
fuck you want.
Damn it! I'll start light.
Yeah, you got to work into it.
Gosh
damn
dang
son
it.
of a bitch. Damn it, son of a
Arn found it.
So, GunWorld 2, and I haven't played the first one.
Okay. That's probably for the better.
Joe
I'll be
explained
honest.
to me, he pitched it to me like this. He's like, GunWorld 2, in the description, he has it as like the sequel nobody cared about to the game that nobody wanted, or something along the lines of that.
Sequel nobody want, or what did I say it was? It's the sequel nobody wants to the game that nobody likes.
Yeah.
Or no. Sorry, let me try that again. It's the sequel no one asked for to the
Yes.
game nobody likes. There it
I should just pull it up on the store and just read
So
it
what was
directly.
your motivation to making this then, aside from
so-
a hefty dose of pessimism?
Well, because my life can't be good. I have to make sure it's terrible.
I like you. You're good on this
I'm just
show.
a terrible person. No, okay, so how it worked is GunWorld 1 was really the first game I ever really made. Now, I've made little prototypes and little things before that, but I've never actually successfully brought a game to retail before. And I'm completely self-taught. I'm still learning every day. I'm not really a programmer. I don't like programming, but I wanted to make games, so I just kind of learned. GunWorld was made in 4 months because that's all I could afford to do. And the end result is obvious. I mean, the game is not that great. But what I found when I released it on PC is that there was a very small audience that really did like it, despite the fact that it was really rough around the edges and it was way too hard. There were some people that did like it. So I pitched it out to Microsoft because I was interested in working on Xbox, and we had an agreement to bring the game to ID at Xbox and Xbox One. And for me, that was really just a test to familiarize myself with the Xbox One. Now, why I did GunWorld 2 is because I'm a huge fan of these NES games that GunWorld 2 is inspired by. And I'm a huge fan of Mega Man. And I didn't want GunWorld to be my stamp on that genre. I didn't want GunWorld as it was to be like, okay, that's what I'm capable of. I was like, no, I want to make another action platformer. I wanted to put like these RPG elements into it. I got these characters. I got this story I want to tell. I don't want to leave it at this bad game. So I'm going to take this game that nobody liked, and I'm going to say, okay, I'm doing this genre again. I'm going to do it better, and I'm going to take 14 months. And I'm going to show you what I can do with my current skills in that amount of time. And that's why I did GunWorld 2.
And I think it came out like, I mean, granted, I didn't sit down with the first one, so I don't really have too much of a comparison's sake, but sitting down with GunWorld 2, I mean, like, it reacts and plays exactly like, you know, a Mega Man Castlevania-esque type of game. The Zelda 2 or the Zelda 2-esque kind of like side-scrolling like world, or the home base worlds, and like going in and doing that kind of stuff I really enjoyed, and even like the overworld of running from area to area, because I normally don't like games that include those, but this is just kind of like, I don't know, it made it a little bit more interesting than just going level to level to level to level.
Well, and I designed it like that because I wanted there to be some depth to it, because there's an element from GunWorld 1 was that the game was incredibly vague. It didn't really tell you how to do anything, and that's because that's what NES games were like. When I made GunWorld 2, I knew one of the biggest complaints, aside from, you know, the rough around the edges quality, was that the game was just too hard and it didn't explain anything. So I wanted to try and make the game a little bit more accessible, a little bit easier. It's still really hard, but I got to tell you, you know, I look at my achievement stats, and I'm telling you, like 90+% of people who have played GunWorld have never beaten a single level, because the game is just too hard. And what I'm finding from people who have had early access on GunWorld 2 or reviewing GunWorld 2 is a lot of them are at least getting halfway through the game, which is significantly better.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that this game is not as ball-shatteringly hard as the first one.
Balls shattering.
I'm the guy on the show who has played the first. You were actually one of the first people that I talked with when we started getting more into game reviews and interviews on our show. You were one of the first people who was like, yeah, check out the game, try it out. I figure you kind of looked at us the way we looked at you, is that we're new, you're new. We kind of just want to help each other out with us covering your game and you finding someone who will cover your game.
Right.
And
because that's an uphill battle, finding people that even want to talk about it or look at it.
Oh, yeah. And we, I won't say that we were kind to the game, but we weren't bad like everyone else. I actually gave it, I don't think we had our buy it, try it, deny it review system in place.
I don't think we did either.
But I recommended trying the game because it was only $2. Mm-hmm. If people are going to be like, oh, well, it doesn't control well, and, it's the graphics aren't that great, and pixel graphics are stupid, and wah. I'm like, dude, it's fucking $2.
Yeah, and that price reflects not only the 4 months of development, but it reflects the fact that I knew what it was. I've been very honest since the game came out. I have never been naive to it. I know it's not a super high quality. It is what it is, and I know that a lot of people are going to be put off by the difficulty, so I priced it super low so that if somebody bought it because they wanted to try it and then it was too hard or they didn't like it, they wouldn't feel like they lost a lot of money. That's specifically why I charged so low for it.
Makes sense.
But GunWorld 2, GunWorld 2 is an $8 game, and that I feel when people play it, that should be very obviously reflected as to why it costs more, how much longer it's spent in development, how much better it is.
Oh, and I think it's absolutely justified, even at an $8 $8 title. This is an absolute, I only sat down with it for what, maybe an hour?
An hour or so, maybe a little more.
Maybe like an hour and a half. But it kind of had like a Ninja Gaiden, Mega Man-esque type of feel to it. And I've been, I love those styles of games because, to me, I know that pixel graphics are relatively now. Before I go any further, did you do the pixel graphics yourself?
Yeah,
too?
I did all the art.
Shut the fuck up! That's insane. Because I mean, to me, if you actually look at especially the backgrounds, what you have up on the screen now, Joe. If you look at some of those backgrounds, you're gonna sit and do those by yourself, and you're gonna do every single level. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I like the fact that I found Shiz Black. It has a 2-hour video of him playing this game on YouTube. So for the Twitch stream, that's all I'm gonna play.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense.
I'm bringing up the Twitch stream now, actually.
But
Shiz Black is our boy, so I don't think he'll care that I'm just playing one of his YouTube videos as our stream background.
There's a couple of people, if you find Harry Cabbage on Twitch and
wasn't he the guy that was giving you problems on the one leaderboard for what was it? Was it Gear Gauntlet?
Oh God, Harry Cabbage just destroyed Gear Gauntlet.
Oh yeah. He has beaten the game, and Lifeless Reaper or Lifeless Gaming. He changed his name at some point, but it's one of those two. They also have Twitch archives up of the game, and they're incredible at it.
Damn.
They got through the game. I mean, I think Harry Cabbage got through the game in 2 days, 2 or 3 days. His total, no, it was a little longer than that because he 100%ed the game, and his total playtime was 36 hours, I think, at the point where he 100%ed the game. And I kind of like to bring that up as a testament to, with no guides available, if you really want to dig into the game and find all the secrets and stuff like that, there's a lot more to this game than it might seem right off the bat.
Yeah.
And I tried to really pack as much of it in there, as much, playtime into the game as I could within the restrictions that I had. Obviously there's a lot of stuff that had to get cut from the game. I would have liked to be able to polish it more. I would have liked to have improved a lot of the art and done better animations and stuff like that. But I was restricted to the time that I did have because I just,
But you know what though? I mean, at a certain point, you kind of have to just realize, you know what? No, this is done. This is good. Because even though
otherwise I'm never going to finish this game.
Exactly.
Yeah, because the same thing, it applies to any kind of medium. I find myself doing it with music all the time, and it's kind of interesting to hear like game developers essentially say the same thing, where it's like, yeah, I worked on this game for this amount of time, but it should have only taken this amount because I kept going back and redoing this over and over and over again, and and 9 times out of 10 they're also saying like, and I ended up going back to what I had the first time anyway.
Yeah.
So it's
that happens a lot too. You'll be working on something and you're just so stuck in it. You're so close to it, that you can't. You get frustrated.
You get the blinders a little bit.
Things. Yeah, and then like you're not able to see the big picture of what's good about it. You're just fixated on this one thing that you think is making the whole thing not work, and then you rip it all apart and try and do something completely new, and none of it works. Then you're like, the old thing I had was better. Like it just needed to tweak it, and you just need to get away from it. And unfortunately, that can lead to productivity issues. You need to get away from it for a month while you're working on something else, and it totally screws up your schedule.
Yep.
But I had a kid during development of this game, and
excuses.
So my work hours went from around 50 hours a week dramatically down through probably the whole second half of development, and unfortunately that led to the game getting delayed, and then it also led to a lot of things not making the cut, which made me sad. But I still think that anything I say is always going to be a little bit biased, and I try really hard not to be. But I do really, I'm very proud of the package. I'm proud of GunWorld.
It's a mighty nice package you got there.
Thank you. I'm proud of GunWorld because I made it. And at that point, like really, not a lot of people can just say, hey, I wanted to make a video game, so I did it.
Yeah, everyone out there can bitch and complain about, well, your controls suck. And it's like, guess what? I made a fucking game, and you paid me $2 to bitch at me for it. Who's the real loser?
Not to mention the fact that you did it by yourself. Like, there's so much in this game. Like, even just like, so what about the music? Did you do that too? Like,
so I didn't do the music. I paid for the music.
Oh, you bitch.
But I didn't compose the music. No,
okay.
And I have.
Because if you did, I'd just be like, man, fuck you. Like,
no, I would like to. But I do not have the time to do that. I have a really good longtime friend that is a composer, and he loves old school music. He just loves playing around with chiptunes and stuff like that. And so he's who I have doing the music, and we work a lot together. Like I came up with the style, the feel, and the themes of the tracks. You know what I mean? But I didn't actually compose them. I was very involved in their composition, but I didn't actually write it myself.
Understood. But even still, I mean, like it's so impressive to me that someone could sit down and produce a game of this, like of now this quality, completely by yourself, with the exception of the music. Like that's no small feat. Like,
well, I appreciate that because it wasn't. It very stressful. It's very hard, but it's. I want to say it's going to be very worthwhile, but the game's not out yet, so I don't know.
From everyone I've talked to who has played this second one and has either played the first one or heard about the reputation of the first one, the general consensus so far has been it's a pretty good game. Like it's not going to win awards, but it's one dude made this. Are you serious?
I've been hearing a lot of the
pretty
same
good.
Thing, yeah. I had somebody. I was specifically sending the game out to people who reviewed the first one, especially people who didn't like it. And during the game's development, I was specifically getting playtesters who did not like the first game, because that was important to me to try and design it around the complaints people had.
Yeah.
I wanted it to still be challenging because there's people that liked the first one because it was challenging, but I needed it to be more accessible. I needed it to be more fun. I needed it to be like, if you're losing all the time, there's still got to be something fun about it. You know what I mean? But I think my favorite one so far is I heard a quote from somebody who reviewed the first game and just did not like it at all. They thought it was really bad. And they're getting back to me, just giving me some of their thoughts as they're writing their review. And their quote from them was that they could not emphasize enough how much better the game was. And like, I don't know, after you work on something for that long, like it's nice to hear that.
Well, I mean, do you think something has more to do with, like, you know, obviously you put more time into it, but having the practice of releasing the first one, like, do you think it turned out that much better because you churned out the first one and just kind of like got your feet wet with that?
Yeah, and really the first one was never, it never should have been a real retail game. I should have worked on more prototypes and stuff like that before diving into a retail environment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that was absolutely a learning experience. The GunWorld 2 would not be as good as it is without having made GunWorld 1. I just learned a lot of things about programming from making the first game. And well, the funny thing is, I'm a couple months into working on my third title. It's not a GunWorld game. But I'm working on my third title, and I've only been working on it for a couple months now, and the controls, the basic mechanics of the game are like 10 times better than what GunWorld 2 is. It's just I learned so much throughout development that I'm able to dramatically increase the quality of my next game as a result.
And the same thing's going to happen through your career. You're going to make a game, you're going to learn from it, you're going to make a game, you're going to learn from it, and hopefully we'll get to cover each of those games, and we won't learn from anything we've done. But we'll still like your games.
Well, hopefully. Maybe if you get another guy on here like this Pappy fella, and then he leaves.
And fuck him.
And then he leaves.
Then maybe you'll learn what's making them leave.
It's completely me.
It's true.
It's me and how
really
much I
is.
insult pieces of shit like him.
It's the smell, honestly.
Can you
The
smell
smell.
it through the internet?
I can smell that smell.
Ooh, that smell.
I was waiting for that.
Smell that's around you.
Now I feel pretty dirty because I
Frodo86 in our chat says to let you know you've done a great job with GunWorld 2. He says he likes it a lot and he's actually going to be streaming it tomorrow. Then he's also enjoying the fact that you have like 1 in 4 point gamer score achievements at the beginning just to fuck with people.
Yeah. So in the first game, for the two people here who have not played it, the first game had a couple of achievements that were like obscure. They didn't end in a 0 or a 5. They ended in a 1 or a 4. And
Which I like.
yeah, I didn't think anything of it. I thought people would think they were funny.
I'm not a giant vagina that needs to have all my achievements 0 or a 5.
not anymore. You got to a point where you're like, I have so many achievements, I don't even care anymore.
Oh no, I never cared about the values because if you're a good gamer, you'll complete the game anyway, and you'll have 1,000, and then that 7-point achievement won't be a problem.
Conversely, if you're a bad gamer like me, you just learn to not give a shit.
Exactly.
Yep, like
in
mine
most
too.
cases,
I don't even know what my number is.
You finish the game and get all the achievements. But in GunWorld, the game was so hard that nobody got more than the odd achievements.
Yeah, fuck you for that, by the way.
But people scoff at that, and I thought I was honestly taken aback by it. I used to be really into achievements, but I didn't care that much that my number had to be like uniform. I legitimately was just totally naive to that. So when people complained about it, one of the first things I thought was like, okay, I'm not going to do that again. But you're out of your fucking mind if you think I'm not going to make fun of you for it.
Yeah.
So the first thing GunWorld 2 does, I guess for Pappy here, and anyone who's listening who has not played the game yet, the first thing it does is as soon as you start the game, I think the first achievement is called The Adventure Begins, and it's for 1 gamer score. And I think the description says, 1 gamer score. That's going to make a lot of people upset.
People aren't going to like that.
Yeah, and then you take a couple steps forward and you talk to the first NPC that the game forces you to talk to. And when you talk to them, you get a 4 gamer score achievement that just says, haha, kidding, I told you I wasn't going to do that again.
I think the very first time I played it, I immediately tweeted out about that achievement. I'm like, I'm already enjoying this game. The fact that someone could just fuck with you like that, especially in the description where it says people aren't going to like this.
I like to be a little tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, I really like that.
Especially like going back to the slogan of the game is the sequel no one asked for to the game that nobody liked. I'm being very tongue-in-cheek. Nobody, I got a lot of complaints about the first game. I'm going to own up to that. And I put it right in the title of the game.
But enough people liked it and encouraged you to try again that you did. It's not like you just went, oh, screw everyone. I'm gonna try again. Like you said, you had some people who really did like the game, even though they never beat it. They still enjoyed what you were trying to do.
Yeah, and the very few people that did manage to beat it, the thing that bummed me out the most is nobody knows that GunWorld actually has a really funny plot to it. but there's no plot anywhere in the game until the ending.
Yeah.
So nobody ever saw it. And so like a lot of people that did beat the game, or the couple people that did beat the game, they were like, this is really funny. Like, I want to see where this goes and stuff like that. And I just knew going into this one, I was like, okay, I got to bring the humor out and bring the character of this world out everywhere. So that's where I came up with the idea of having all the NPCs that you can talk to and throwing all the puns in there when you fight the different bosses. And that was another thing too, is the boss characters. I knew I wanted people to find, certain members of the Exaction faction, which is the name of the boss squad that you fight. I wanted people to like certain members of the faction or dislike some of them. And I'm like, okay, well, I want them all to look very different. I want them to move and behave very different. And they all have these dumb puns that they share back and forth with the main character, Dwayne, when you encounter them. Even in their names, like one of them is a large buffalo, and his name is Buffalo, and he just works out, and he's in a gym.
Buffalo.
One of the characters is a spoof of Batman, but instead of being in a bat costume, they're in a horse costume, and their name is Nightmare.
You're an asshole.
And then my absolute favorite of the team is Microwave, which is a radioactive man-sized crow that hits microwaves.
This is a perfect game for people who like puns.
Oh yeah. There's all kinds of puns in there.
Yeah, I got to say the writing is some of my favorite stuff in this game. Just the amount of people that you can talk with and the stupid little hidden in-jokes that are seemingly everywhere in the game. It's just, you could tell a lot of care, time, and heart went into this game. And I think it paid off. And I hope that the consumers give you another chance after the first game and so many people whining about it.
That's a concern. I knew right when I made it that, I could do this game and I could make I could potentially make a great game and nobody will try it. I knew that going into it, but, I cared about the characters, I cared about the world, and I wanted to do this funny game, that this old school style game that was challenging but funny and had heart and character to it. I wanted to do it so bad that I was like, I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to hope that word of mouth helps. Word of mouth and still a reasonable low price helps sell the game.
Because when you think about it, $8 is still pretty damn cheap for a game.
Well, and you're saying, $30-some, 30-some hours just to 100% it.
Yeah.
So for $8, now you're getting it to, but at the same time, even without a guide, you're still getting literally a quarter an hour out of it.
Yeah. But with the guide, for people that aren't looking at a game to be in a game that's that big of an investment of time, with a guide, if you're good at these types of games, you can get through this game in 6 to 8 hours, 100% achievements. It's not unbelievably difficult if you are good at these types of games. If you're not terrific at these types of games, but you're pretty good at them, you should be able to beat the game, especially if you grind to max your level, get a bunch of money, and buy Respawn Eagles, because you can literally Respawn Eagle your way through boss fights that you are having a hard time with.
Yeah, but then there's that achievement for beating the game without a Respawn Eagle.
Yeah, I didn't buy one either.
But again, if you're trying to just beat the game.
Right, exactly. If you just want to see the story to the end, if you're just a more casual person that doesn't care about the achievements.
I don't normally care about achievements, but if I could get one...
And I appreciate you putting that in there, though, because, as much as I appreciate that there's still a lot of call for... old school difficult games, I don't think that most developers are doing themselves any favors by not offering anything for a more casual gamer.
Yeah, and what I really wanted to do is make that a little bit more seamless. I didn't want difficulty modes.
Yeah.
What I wanted it to be is there was seamless difficulty adjusters in the game. So if either of you have gotten far enough to buy any gear, you would have noticed that you can buy these pieces of gear that actually give you perks that dramatically alter the game. You can get, for example, if you're having trouble getting hit by enemies and knocked off into pits, there's a pair of boots you can buy that make it so you don't get knocked back at all. That significantly reduces the difficulty of the game. You can buy
I got those boots. I'm trying to think what the hell I got a boots and a frog-looking helmet, the one that you get the fishing rod for,
with the googly eyes.
Yeah, I fucking love that thing.
So then that makes it so you have 25% chance of not taking damage when you get hit.
Yeah.
You have things that give you additional health, things that make your guns do more damage. My personal favorite is the knife in the game is only used for traversal. It's not really meant to be used for combat. Now,
I've been watching a lot of people try and like kill an enemy with a knife, and it's like, okay,
I tried it at first
times. Too. I think I just can't.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can use it to remove armor on shielded enemies and like knock shields off and stuff. But it's meant.
And you can use it to knock them back, right?
Certain enemies, you can use it to knock them back. But there is a sun tanning alligator hidden in the game that if you find him, you can steal his body oil and use the body oil to be naked-chested, greased-up Dwayne.
How do you steal that? Like, I've run into that alligator, and I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do with that thing.
So, if you get to a certain point in the game, you'll fight a boss named Crocodile, and when you beat him, you get a gun called the Blow Dryer that allows you to do double and triple jumps. And you use that to go up and over his umbrella and drop down behind him and steal the body oil.
Yeah, right.
But when you have the body oil, anytime that you're not holding a gun, your knife does like 10 times more damage than a normal bullet. It's very based on some enemies. Like some enemies, it actually does way less damage. But then you can actually run through the game just obliterating people with your knife.
Ooh, I want to try that.
So
then it would essentially become Ninja Gaiden.
So, and then on top of that, there's the respawn eagles that if you die, like people complain about checkpoints in the first game. So I was like, okay, instead of placing checkpoints everywhere in the game, I'm going to let you buy them. So if you decide you need checkpoints, you have one and you can use it to respawn right where you died. You can even use it to completely skip pits. Like if you fall into a pit and die, you can use a respawn eagle and then manually move it over to the other side of the pit and respawn yourself past it. So you don't have to think about it. So there's, if people want to take the time to grind and kind of cheese their way past certain sections, they can. There's a weapon you get in the game that creates a bubble that makes you invincible. And if you combine that with a certain piece of gear, it makes you invincible for a really long time. So you can pass spike pits like the ones where you're on the moving curtains that you were having a problem with, Joe.
Yeah.
You can just use a bubble and just walk over those pits and not have to use the curtains and stuff like that. So there's every part of the game is designed so that if you can't do it, there is something in the game that makes it like a joke to get through. It's just about experimentation.
I think the furthest I got in that stage so far with the curtains is where two of them are going and you have to drop from the one down to the other and then move up and down. Yeah. But I kind of ended up getting stuck on one of the platforms. Oh. And if that happens, no more curtains come through.
Yeah. And so that's something that I'm actually in the 1.6 update, I'm planning on changing so that they will continue to spawn.
Good to hear.
Because I noticed some people just stop there and they're like, I'm screwed.
Yeah, because as soon as I died there and I had to start at the beginning again, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to Dairy Queen to get an Orange Julius. And that's what I'm drinking right now.
Well, good. So I got a question. You were playing on the gym level there. That's where Buffalo is. When you saw that they're called the jock tortoises, they're the tortoises lifting the dumbbells.
Yeah.
And they throw up dumbbells at you. Did you have a hard time with them?
I did at first.
Did you learn that you can repel the dumbbells with your knife?
No, I did not know that. I kept trying to jump over them. I would either, if I could, I would jump over them until I got close enough that they would go into their shell and then hit the shell, or I would use the horseshoe boomerang-looking weapon from the second boss, which I could just steer and hit them that way. I didn't know you could hit the dumbbells.
Yeah, so I saw people using the leaf spreader and the horseshoe gun to try and get through those guys. And it took me a while before I saw on Twitch somebody actually try the knife. And I was hoping, I guess obviously I didn't do it well enough because people aren't doing it on their own, but I was hoping that the constant use of the knife would get people to think of that in a situation where they're not able to proceed. Like, maybe I'll try the knife because I can't use it for combat, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm using it all the time to do this or do that. I got to climb, I got to break through walls, whatever. But you actually can just run straight at the turtles, spamming your knife, and knocking the dumbbells away like they're nothing. And then when you get close enough, like you notice, Joe, they get scared and they go in their shell. And
that's going to make shit a lot easier for sure.
Yeah. So if you ever are at a part in the game, my voice just cracked. If you're ever at a part
hey, puberty's rough, so
if it ever seems just like an absurd difficulty spike, you might be doing
missing something.
Yeah. And that's like
Okay.
the key thing I want people to understand in this game is if it seems like out of nowhere it got way too hard,
Then
try
you're in the
everything.
wrong spot.
Just you're either in the wrong spot or you're not trying something.
when in doubt, knife it out.
Yeah. For that one situation. And then you never use it again.
So have you considered adding like health drops during stages?
Yes. And that was something that was in GunWorld 1. I took it out for GunWorld 2 because you have so many options to increase your health. But I have noticed that despite the game being substantially easier, and people are telling me it's substantially easier, there are still people struggling to get through it. So I think in the 1.6 update, I'll have to double check my notes, but I think in the 1.6 update there will be health drops.
I wouldn't make them super common, but I think, like, at least for me, one of the reasons I'm not more experimental with what I try, because I know that if I get hit, I can't gain that health back at all.
Right.
Like, even if it was an item you could purchase that just fills your health. Something like that, and you could only carry one, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's something I know I have in my notes somewhere, and I don't know. I apologize if you hear traffic. It's like a boiler room in here. I had to open my window.
Oh, that's fine.
Understandable.
It's something I know I have to add. And that's another thing is I want to make sure when people play this game that they understand, like, don't keep it in if you're not enjoying it. If something's too hard, if you're having a hard time or whatever, like one part of the game you think is not good, tell me. You know, the whole quality of GunWorld 2 is based on how people were honest with me and shared their feedback about how shitty GunWorld was.
Yeah, when you start the game, it literally says to hit you up with any comments or questions or feedback or anything. Gives your Twitter handle and everything. You're like, hey, if you have a problem, let me know.
Yeah, and like I'm
you don't see that in many games.
I'm totally committed to updating the game regularly, you know, and like actually From the Hitmen just did a YouTube video. I believe it went up yesterday. And the first third of their video, they were playing co-op. And they came across some really bad co-op bugs. And unfortunately, co-op, I work alone. I did not have the appropriate resources to test co-op thoroughly. And I knew there were going to be issues with it. I knew there were, even though like in my tests, you know, I can only test for so many variables because so many things come to mind for me. But it turns out the worst, buggiest part of the game is the co-op. And they were having kind of an issue with the game. And then they switched it to single player, and all of a sudden they were having a great time. And they were having the same experience everyone else was having because they stopped trying to play co-op. So I watched the video to see specifically what they were doing wrong. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now I know some bad things that can happen. And I've already started working on fixing that in the 1.6 update that I really hope can be out in the next week or two.
Nice. You got to sneak us in there, or the 1.7 update.
just throw you guys in there.
Toss us in the arcade with Mega Ran.
Yo, I lost my shit when I saw Mega Ran.
So me and Mega Ran were talking for a couple of months before his cameo got put in the game. There were plans for a much bigger, cooler cameo, and it just came out to time restraints, bumped him down to like just being, hey, here's a track of his, and he's in this arcade talking. There were originally going to be mini games in the arcade, and one of them was a rhythm game where you played as Mega Ran.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and so that's unfortunately his cameo got bumped down to him just being there. But one of the things I wanted to bring up is if the game does well, I'm absolutely committed to continue supporting it with free DLC and additional achievements to go along with the free DLC that adds new modes, new campaign levels, new things like that. And one of the first things, you know, I've been talking with Mega Ran about is if the game does well enough to justify me spending more time working on it, I want to bring the Mega Ran level back, the rhythm level where you play as him and get to play in the arcade and stuff like that, because he's an awesome guy. And the fact that he let me put a cameo of him in the game was just super cool of him to be okay with that. And Did
he play the first game, or do you think that?
No, he doesn't. He's not even like.
That's why he was okay with
probably. But he likes these styles of games. Like, obviously, you know, if you know who Mega Man is, you know he loves Mega Man. He loves NES games.
Oh, yeah. I heard rumors about that.
That's why that's why he was into it. And we talked about it a lot, and he knew the quality of the first game, but he liked what he saw with this one, and he was on board for it. But he deserves to have that better cameo. So, like, that's right there at the top of my list. Like, hey, if this game does well and I get to do a DLC pack for it, and again, let me iterate, free DLC. I will never release any content for this game that is paid. So you pay the $8, people keep buying the game, I will give you more to play that never costs you another dime.
That's awesome.
Shiz is dumb.
Why? What's that?
I just watched him go into that level where he clearly could have just cut the brush to go up over the thing to get the chest, and he was just like, "Nah, man, I can't do it. I'm out."
No, he actually needed the first boss's gun, the leaf throwing thing.
Okay.
It's one of the hidden areas that. By the way, I love the number of hidden areas in this game. On the overworld map, it is ridiculous how much cool hidden shit is in this game if you take the time and just explore.
Well, the nice thing, actually, for you, like, because you wouldn't even know any further beyond that, since you haven't beaten Buffalo, you've only seen half the world map.
Oh, I know.
So, yeah, I guess you've seen that in a video somewhere. It goes on beyond that.
I just remember the story telling me that once I beat the 3, it lets me get to the other half of the world.
Yeah, and then there's more over there. There's, and I apologize if there's background noise. I closed the window because it was too loud. We had someone on who had trains go by his apartment like 2 or 3 times during the show. Yeah. Oh,
and we just laughed our asses off.
I don't even care. Here I am trying to be nice and...
Nah.
What do you think we are, professionals? Ain't IGN, punk. Get that professionalism shit out of here.
Yeah, it's there's a whole bunch more to the second part of the world map. Unfortunately, people that get that far, they're going to notice that there's not as much density and as many secrets in the second part of the world map. And again, that comes down to I just ran out of time. I'm super proud of the game. I'm super proud of it. But man, like anybody that did, like you were saying, Chris, about music, like if I just had 3 more months, like this game wouldn't be good. I think it'd be great. But I'm limited by what I can do.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, GunWorld 3. GunWorld 3.
Well, there will never be a GunWorld 3.
Super GunWorld HD remix.
Super GunWorld HD remix alpha beta.
I'm just sitting here and following along as Shiz plays the game, and I'm just thinking, this is a much better story than the second half of the Gunslinger series.
The second half of the Gunslinger?
Yeah, Stephen King, Gunslinger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
ooh,
so
I didn't know you could do that. Did you see that?
I ate the first 3 books up, and I've been working on book 4 for about 14 months now. And I wish it had just evolved into this, because I think I would have finished the series.
Joe, did you see him when he shot against, I guess, like the monkey holding the shield, that the ricochet came up and then killed the bird?
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, that's pro strats.
Well, I'm paying attention right now because I'm like, oh, okay.
Chris is paying more attention to the video that we have on just for Twitch than he is the actual interview.
The funny thing is, I'm so aware of that strat that I have specifically designed spots way later in the game that punish you for trying to do that.
Nice.
Really?
There's a spot where you eventually come across these Skeleman wizards, and they're skeleton wizards, as the name suggests, and they're harmless until you shoot at them. So when you shoot at them, it activates their magic, and they start shooting back, and then you have to shoot them a bunch until they die.
Oh, there's the gator.
Yep, there he is, the anthropomorphic gator. His name is Murmur because he has a heart condition. It's like if you look at his chest right now. He mentioned it.
Stop looking at my chest. I have a heart condition.
So the way that came up is I was animating the gator, and I was trying to make it look like he was breathing, but I was zoomed way in when I was adjusting the pixels to make it look like he was breathing, and I realized that I did it up on his chest instead of his stomach. Like, because if I did it a little bit lower in the stomach, it would have actually looked more like he was breathing.
Fantastic.
And it
So
looked
that just looked
so
like his chest was just like caving in.
Yeah, just like pulsating in this really weird way. And it was literally one of those things. I looked at it, and it was at the end of an evening when I could not work anymore that night. I looked at it for a second. I just watched it for a couple of seconds and just really frustrated at myself. And I just threw my hands up and said, fuck it, he's got a heart condition. And I changed the dialogue.
That's fantastic.
And then that's where he came from.
I hate those enemies are probably like my most hated ones. Those little
the little robots with the eyes.
Yeah.
I like Nightmare here just watching you. And this is
yeah, that thing like totaled me. What is it? The next level up or something? The one that rotates around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Those things get me every time. Every time.
There's the fire key that nobody knows how to get.
Yeah, I see that all the time, and I try like slashing at the walls. I'm like, what the fuck is this thing here for?
Oh, it's there for.
Here it comes. Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You just took him out. Nightmare doesn't give a shit. So that's the boss level. And like this is actually a great level. And I know you can't see this if you're just listening to the podcast later, but this is a great level to kind of show off how different every level in the game is. Every level of the game has a unique mechanic to it, so that every time you're getting to a new level, you're doing something new. This level, you have the whole parts that are like these really stripped down stealth sections where Nightmare is stalking you through the level while you're trying to get to the...
Oh, and the auto-running sections.
Oh, yeah, where she breaks out of the wall. And
those are like super anxiety stages for me. I'm like, motherfucker, I have to like rush now?
Well, the nice thing, though, is if you just take the hit, she only does 1 damage. So like you could take the hit and then just... take it slow. Pro tip, if you really want to damage boost it. But yeah, it's still like you don't want to test that. You know what I mean? She comes out of the wall and you're just like, "Fuck, I gotta go!" Like,
because there's no health pickup, so I just figured I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to run like a son of a bitch.
I watched somebody on Twitch spend a half hour trying to get that fire key.
So, all right, give us the spoilers. How do you get that?
Oh, I'm not telling you how to get it.
He's got me every time, every freaking time. So you could just hit him with the knife.
Not those guys.
No,
okay.
I didn't see. I figure, despite the feel of an open world in the game, it's still kind of directed that you should do one stage before another, because the leaf gun that you get from the first boss kills those guys.
These guys. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Like one up close tree gun blast, they're dead.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the game is kind of like, yes,
it bothers me that he doesn't swing at that wall. Like,
yeah, you just get that money. No, you're absolutely right. The game is really like a Mega Man game. You should do it in a certain order. The bosses actually all have weaknesses to specific guns too, that make the fights a lot easier.
I will say, I kind of wish it was a little more exploration friendly, so that like before I beat any of the bosses, it felt like I needed to beat one boss before I could explore 90% of the caves I would go in. And then once I did that, I had
that you can actually get something out of. Ooh. Yeah, and again that. What happened?
Just watching.
There's
Chris, pay attention to what's going on here.
I'm listening, but like obviously,
I'm watching it too.
Yeah. That's why it's up, right? Like.
I totally understand, and like that's one of the things that when it came down to the pacing of like the secrets and how much I let you do at each point in the game when you have whatever piece of equipment and stuff like that. Again, I hate to keep saying it, but it just came down to time. It got to a certain point where I didn't have the time to just sit there and play the game a couple times a day anymore to get a good feel of the pacing. I can say that the pacing was much worse a couple months before the game came out. But eventually I just ran out of time and I was like, it's not perfect, but this is what it is. I do wish that the first 2 levels were a little easier, because it seems like most people go to the Dwayne's Manor, the Nightmare level, first. They don't go to
I did that too. And
the forest is, I feel, the easier level, but some of the platforming is actually quite tricky. And it's hard to balance a game like that when you're the only one building it.
Yeah.
So I get really good at it, and I play certain parts of it, I'm like, oh, this is too damn easy. I was like, I got to make this a little harder because it's way too easy. And then I make it harder, and then I get playtesters in, and they're like, this part gets.
What's your fucking problem, man?
Yeah, and so it's like, it's really hard. I don't think people understand how much goes into tuning difficulty and how difficult that is, especially when you have those blinds on and you are the only person playing the game every day.
We've heard that from a lot of developers. Is it's so hard to judge difficulty when you're the only one doing it.
Right,
yeah,
and it's
I guess the real key that that seems to be commonly agreed on is that no matter what, no matter how few or how many people are developing it, get as many other people to test it as humanly possible.
And the unfortunate part is, well, I don't say unfortunate in a literal sense. I mean unfortunate in this exact circumstance, is the game is an Xbox One exclusive. So the only people who can playtest this game are people that have dev kits. I can't just send it to people to play.
Yeah.
Especially when I got to a certain point in development that I was really adding in the Xbox specific features. Knowing this was going to be an Xbox One exclusive, I didn't bother making a lot of toggles to turn certain things on and off. So the game actually, even though it technically could run on a PC just fine with the code that I wrote, it won't. It crashes because there's tons of code in the game that's calling for Xbox specific commands. So it just crashes immediately. So it's like I would have to go in and do a ton of work to manually turn off a lot of these different calls and stuff like that to let it run on PC. And that's just way too much work to send it out to some playtesters. And so I just have people local that can playtest the game. That's just the way it is for now. I mean, there's only so much I can do.
Hey, makes sense.
But yeah, I don't know.
So what kind of plans do you have in the future for the game? What kind of fixes and updates are you looking at adding to the game?
So there's still some difficulty balance stuff I want to do. So if you want to be hardcore badass, beat the game, the 1.5 version that exists, because that's going to be the hardest version of the game. At this point, level rush mode is still a little bit too hard, I feel. So I'm going to be doing some difficulty balancing to level rush mode to make the levels a little bit easier, which will also go hand in hand to make the campaign a little bit easier. There are these challenge levels in the game that you need to complete to get the super awesome Torpegal rifle. And it's like an optional weapon. It's way too hard to get. Like 5% of players might get it. It's way too hard. But that's an optional thing. And I made sure that I only made the super difficult stuff optional. Yeah. But it's still too hard. So like a lot of difficulty reduction stuff is coming into the game to make it a little bit easier. And then co-op fixes. And then I don't have any other fixes in mind right now until I get feedback from players.
Can I suggest one to you?
Go for it.
When you are dropping any of these special weapon guns, using any of those seeds, and you put a delay in for like 3 or 4 seconds where you can't drop another one. Because I've had countless times where I'll drop a gun and I'll go to pick it up and hit the button, but apparently the gun isn't spawned enough, so I'll immediately waste another seed.
Yeah, actually what I was planning on doing for that was making it so that if you're anywhere near a gun that's in the process of growing, it would disable the ability to throw one. And then I was actually going to make it so you could pick up the guns before the growth animation is complete, so you can pick them up a little faster.
Fantastic.
But I might also test it out a little bit and see if just a general delay, like a blanket delay, makes the most sense. But yeah, I'm definitely aware that people are having issues with that from watching them play it. So that's on the fix list. And then
with the main gun, I don't give a shit because that's infinite.
Right, because you have infinite of them.
On the ones I'm paying for, and I only have a limited number of.
Right.
The 30 coins I don't care about. It's just if I only have so many left, I accidentally use one I didn't mean to use.
Yeah.
That sucks.
and then like another thing, speaking of the coins and stuff like that, I was going to do a general price reduction on almost everything. Not dramatically, but I was going to lower the prices of most items in the stores because for me, I don't die a lot, so I don't lose money a lot. So the items aren't too expensive. But I'm noticing that if you do die a lot, you're not even getting any money. You're just collecting money in the level, dying and losing all of it. So you never get to progress. And if you buy any seeds and then die and use them, you just lose them. So I'm thinking of either reducing how much you lose when you die or reducing the price of the items.
Is it a percentage when you die?
Yeah,
or is it a flat number?
It's a percentage. And I actually don't even know off the top of my head what the percentage is. I think it's 10%, but I don't remember. I know I changed it several times, and, tiny things like that I don't remember.
Yeah.
All the time. I do know that I reduced the knockback by 0.2 pixels per frame. but I only know that because I just did it.
Nice. We are getting inside the development process here.
But aside from that, plans for the game, if it does well, is plans for actual additional content. I want to add more levels to Level Rush. So if you guys aren't familiar with how Level Rush works, it just grabs every level that's in the game, and that includes the challenge levels, like the optional challenge levels, and it creates a random campaign for you of 8 levels. So we're watching him play the forest here. Just this first section of the forest counts as a level. So like there would be 2 levels of the forest. You know what I mean?
Oh, up to the checkpoint?
Yeah. So it grabs 8 chunks of the game like that, makes you a mini campaign. You have to play through that 8 set of levels without dying, and then it gives you a random boss fight at the end.
Fucking birds.
Oh yeah, there he goes right in the pit. The hooligans is what they're called.
I just call them motherfuckers.
They remind me of the bats in Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, that's kind of or in Castlevania they have those bats and stuff like that. That's exactly why they're there. It's a nod to It's specifically a nod to Castlevania, but there were so many NES games that did that. It's a nod to.
They're there specifically to piss you off.
Yeah, yes. Exactly. But I want to increase the replayability of Level Rush mode, add unique levels to it, give it something. The idea was for that to be more of a fun streaming mode because it's random every time, and it's got that very light roguelike element in the fact that if you die, you have to start completely over, and you don't 100% know what is going to come up.
So you could get a decent set of levels, or you could get fucked right away.
You could get the tutorial 8 times in a row.
Damn.
So, I mean, it's not going to happen. Well, it's not likely to happen, but you could.
And again, in the video we've been watching, it took Shiz a half hour just to get to Dwayne. Oh,
yeah.
Oh really?
And gone.
Because he's a scrub.
And gone.
Oof, there he goes.
You can see.
We're not even in Shiz's stream, and we're shitting over how shitty of a player he is.
Oh, shit. I've never played
but it's
the
okay.
game. I can't say how good or bad he is.
He's playing the game, and, well, listen, I'm not going to judge anybody, but if it takes you a half an hour to get through the tutorial...
You've been judged.
This isn't a judgment. I'm just saying maybe this game is outside of your skill level.
Or don't be so cautious.
Yeah, that too.
Because I will say, like, it took me a while to get through it, but that's also because I made sure to explore every nook and cranny, make sure I didn't miss anything.
Be careful.
Yep.
Well, watching his playthrough, he kept dying at the exact same spots.
Well, and that's one of the things. Like, I'm never shitty to people that aren't good at the game. But sometimes I tell them, like, now with GunWorld 1, I knew the game was way too hard. But with GunWorld 2, yeah, it's still pretty hard. But generally...
It's manageable.
Yeah, if you can't beat this game, or if you can't get past certain parts, like, it's... With GunWorld 1, I could say it was the game's fault.
With this, it's your fault.
With this, I don't really want to make that blanket statement anymore because I don't feel that's the case, honestly. But I'm not somebody that's going to just, like, say, oh, you can't criticize my game because you're bad at it and you suck, and that's your problem. That's not at all what I'm saying. All I'm saying is the game does still have a specific audience in mind, and if you can't beat it, then it's just not,
it's
might
not
be the casual
audience.
Yeah, exactly. It's just you might just not be the audience for the game.
I like how he's just trying to, like, avoid...
Well, yeah, because apparently those birds just constantly respawn. Right?
Oh, yeah, they come back no matter what.
Yeah,
those birds don't give a fuck.
So he's learning how to avoid the one rather than waste time.
They drop good money, though.
Oh, yeah, and then they have a random chance of dropping a hooligan pelt, which lets you get the hooligan hat.
Or you get pooped
oh, my God, he got hit by the frog?
Okay, now I hear judgment. Now I hear judgment.
Yeah. We should all just go into his stream after this interview and shit all over him.
Is he streaming now?
I'm sure he's streaming something. I don't know what though.
Not necessarily this.
I doubt he's streaming this.
No, he only played this the one time. But,
Punk bitch.
We actually have some reviews that we need to do. Yes.
Yeah, eventually.
Well, I mean, it's been an hour.
We're having a good conversation. I don't want to rush ending it if we're enjoying it.
I mean, I don't know how much time you guys have.
I got all night.
I know you've got all night.
I've got a little bit more time. I'll hop out whenever you guys need me to. If you're gonna move on to another part of the podcast or whatever.
Well, Pappy, why don't you ask your question?
My question. So, what other games do you play when you're taking a break from developing your own?
Ooh, okay. So should I just say recently? I guess that question means what I play.
Well, I mean, usually within the last 6-8 months, because you've been working the game for a minute.
Yeah. God, let me think about it. Like the last year has been a blur, man.
Well, what's your go-to? Like, what's your one or two games where you're just like, man, I got some downtime. I want to play something else. What do you try to gravitate to?
The biggest one has been Super Mario Maker.
Makes sense.
It's just I'm a huge platforming fan. I love platformers. I love Mario, and it's real easy because I can just hop into the game and just play levels. I don't have to think about it. There's not a commitment to it because you don't go into it and say like, oh, I'm going to play this game and this game might take me 2 weeks to complete. Because I'm one of those people that once I start playing a game, if I like it, I don't want to play anything else until I finished it, even if I'm replaying it. So it's nice to play a game that there's no commitment at all. You just go and you play levels and that's it. You turn it off. There's no progression.
Always good.
Yeah, so I was playing a lot of that. I was playing Destiny for a minute, but ran out of stuff to do in there. Been playing a lot of Mega Man 6.
Old school.
Oh yeah, I got I'll run through it here right now. What I got in my office. I have an N64, a 360, a Sega Genesis with the 32X and the Sega CD hooked up to it.
Damn.
I have my NES, my SNES, Wii, GameCube, PS2, PS1, Sega Saturn, original Xbox, Atari 2600.
That doesn't sound like an office. That sounds like your room.
It sounds like a man cave.
So that's all the stuff that I have hooked up. I play my old systems a lot. It's like that shouldn't surprise anybody to see the games that I make. I don't make these because pixel art is easier or like cheaper or whatever. Like I
cannot get over these backgrounds because like there's other layers that are shifting at different speeds and it looks so fucking good. Like
I really appreciate that. I was
like it's the subtleties of something like that where it's like I don't know if other people like pick up on that shit, but like that's what makes a really good background, you know?
And I appreciate that you bring it up because some people do, some people don't. Sorry for taking so long on this question. I'm just going through trying to think about the games that I play a lot of Shovel Knight. That should not
be a surprise. Fuck yeah.
Shovel Knight is one of my favorite games of all time. Immediately when I played that game, it rocketed up.
I was so thrilled when the Yacht Club folks came on the show the one time.
I loved it until my niece was better at it than me. So then I had to stop playing out of shit.
I still have to get it. I haven't played it yet.
Oh, I have it on like 4 platforms.
Yeah, I rebought it on Wii U because I bought the Amiibo just because I wanted it on my desk. And then I bought the Wii U version because I did not have a physical version of the game and I wanted one for my shelf. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to buy the Wii U one because it has co-op. And so I've been playing it in co-op and stuff like that. I played it a little bit with my wife, and then I played it with a buddy of mine when he came over. The game is so good. I hate that the co-op is stuck on Wii U and it isn't on the other platforms. But
yeah. Hey, maybe in due time they want to. They want to keep it a timed exclusive thing for Nintendo. Who knows?
Right? Who knows? I have played a lot of Smash for Wii U. Huge Smash fan. My main is Wii Fit Trainer.
That's your main?
Yeah.
Okay. I can respect that.
She's my favorite. I used to play Duck Hunt.
Dude, I love Duck Hunt, dog.
Oh yeah, Duck Hunt's the best. He's hilarious. But people got my tricks. I used to go to local tournaments in I live near Grand Rapids in Michigan. So I used to go. There's a pretty hot tournament scene around there for Smash Brothers, and I used to go there to play. People got onto my tricks with Duck Hunt Dog real fast, so I switched over to Wii Fit Trainer. I specifically did that because no one else plays her, and she's really funny, and she talks so much shit. She's
so
the only
much trash.
Like, oh my god, I love every time.
She's an asshole.
Yeah. Like, let's tighten those abs. Time to stretch those legs. I do that every time every time I smash somebody off the edge. It's just like that's to stretch our legs.
You're a dickhead.
I love it. She's the best. And like when you duck, you can make her like crab walk and do like push-ups and stuff like that. So I just like taught people. It's the best for volleyball.
Have you considered porting GunWorld over to Nintendo at all? Since you're a Nintendo guy.
Yeah, I've been in communication with them about it actually. But the engine I used to make the game doesn't support Nintendo's platforms.
What engine did you use?
Game Maker Studio.
Game Maker Studio. Okay.
So I'm probably going to be transitioning over to Unity at some point in the.
I was going to say that seems to be like the industry standard at this point for a lot of indie games.
Yep. But Game Maker Studio is actually, as a platform, has gotten tremendously better in the last, I'd say, 3 years or so. It has a reputation for being a very poor quality tool set for like serious amateur use, but the tool set has gotten tremendously good over the last couple of years. Like games like I don't know about number 2, but the first Hotline Miami was made in Game Maker.
Wow.
Yeah, the tool set has gotten phenomenal over the last couple of years. So I've stuck to it because I'm really familiar with it, and but I'm ready to move on to something different just because of platform support. I really want to be able to support Nintendo, but Game Maker's cheap. It's real fast to develop in. I'm comfortable with it. So it's hard to move on because I'm alone. And if I switch onto something else,
Yeah.
My last one here in the go-tos for the question, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Nice.
Classic.
I pop that in every chance I can.
So let me ask your opinion on this. What's your opinion on Skate?
Skate?
Yes.
Love Skate. It's a very different beast. Very different. If you're wanting to play Tony Hawk, you're wanting a completely different kind of game. It's a more arcade style game. Skate is closer to like a simulation kind of thing. I only played Skate and Skate 2.
Skate 3 was fantastic.
Was it? I should pick it up at some point. God knows Tony Hawk 5 sucked ass.
Oh, it's horrible. So here's the thing.
That took care of the next question.
There's a rumor that Skate 4 could be a thing with a digital copy of Skate 3 bundled in for the Xbox One.
I'd be way into that. Because I want a good Tony Hawk again, but I want Skate.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know, and that sucks. But I wouldn't mind like another indie to come in and be like, "Hey, we're going to make a Tony Hawk clone, and yeah, it doesn't have any like real skaters in it, but we're going to clone the engine and we're going to make a good Tony Hawk."
I actually learned that Tony Hawk 5 was actually just a straight cash grab because their agreement was license.
Yeah, the license was pretty much gone.
It ended.
Yeah, I think that's a really sad reason to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, i.e., Fantastic Four, the movie.
Yeah.
Same thing. Do not. Hey, any social media or any entertainment media out there, just because your license is running out doesn't mean you should do it.
Nope.
Right.
All right. If you really care, renew the license.
I feel like they really nailed the coffin shut with Tony Hawk 5. Like even if
it's horrible.
If they got a good developer, I don't think they could bring that series back.
Nope.
Not without taking a loss. They would have to bring out a Tony Hawk 6 that's phenomenal, and then bring out a Tony Hawk 7 so that the word of mouth from the 6.
Yeah. You have to do 6 and pimp it and really like reduce price really fast, get more and more people onto it.
Part of you makes you wonder if that was kind of intentional to put out a shitty game just to damage the Tony Hawk brand so that no one else would want to deal with it in the future.
Because the way they handled it, I don't believe that. Because with the mandatory update and all of that stuff, just to play the game.
Yeah, I agree with that. It'd be an interesting story, and it's not something that is like unheard of in this industry, or in any industry. But with the specifics of this situation, I don't think that was the case. Because they weren't. It's not like Activision was, or actively still trying to make Tony Hawk games and trying to renew that license as far as we know.
No,
you know what I mean?
They had no interest in it until they
yeah,
were like,
so I could see if they were trying to renew the license themselves and failing to, I could see them trying to damage it like this. But I don't think that was the case.
I don't think there's enough evil in there. I think it was just sheer incompetence.
Yeah,
True.
I think I want to think that the people making Tony Hawk 5 wanted to make a good game because nobody wants to make a bad game.
Oh, they did, but they were given 6 fucking weeks to do the whole game.
They were not given enough time, and I think from playing it, the level layout and the missions designs, they didn't make any sense. I think it was a combination of not having enough time and having people that didn't 100% understand what the game should be like.
What really pissed me off was to learn that the game itself is just the core instructions. It's the tutorial and then just the design. It's that mandatory download is the actual game. So if you were to pick up Tony Hawk 5 in 3 years. You can't even play the game because they're going to shut down the servers before then.
Yeah.
Which is the only way to actually download the game itself. So if you bought the disc used in the future, you're literally buying the tutorial and you can't access anything else.
So that's interesting.
Yay.
I've heard that. And I've seen people on message boards that repeat that they bought the game and they're not able to do it. The odd thing is, I rented the game from a Redbox, and I didn't download the update. The update had started, and it was downloading, but I played without the update while it was still downloading, and I played through the whole game before installing the update.
Interesting.
But
so
what happened?
Maybe it was the first set of discs.
I don't know if it's some of the printed, because I rented it the day it came out.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting.
So I don't know if it's a bug that's causing that to happen to some people or not, but it's definitely happening to some people. They play the tutorial, it sets them back to the menu, you try to go back into the game, and it just puts you back in the tutorial. But I can say from experience, when I played it, it did what it does to everybody else, where it backed me out to the main menu. But then when I went back in and just selected
Were you playing on your dev kit?
No.
Okay, because I was saying maybe Microsoft secretly downloaded it for you.
I was playing the PS4 version.
You never know. It could be a platform difference thing.
Yeah, I've heard it on both, though.
Okay.
So it's an interesting situation. I actually want to pick up. I've been thinking of picking up a copy of the game when it's dirt cheap, and testing that for myself, because I've also seen people on NeoGAF and stuff like that mention the same thing as me. They're like, "Well, I was able to play through it without the update."
It might be interesting that maybe it is just a rumor. But
or it's
even
a bug.
Yeah, or if it is,
even
if it is just a rumor, I feel like your game has to be pretty damn bad for someone to start a rumor like that.
Well, it's clearly happening to some people. I saw it happen on streams, and I don't know if it's a bug. I don't know if it's a bug or what. But it's pretty weird. I just know that I repeated the same steps as what I saw happen to somebody on Twitch, and it didn't happen to me. And I can confirm 100% I did not have the update installed. I just thought that was an interesting opposite side of it. I've totally heard the same things, and I wasn't even aware it was an issue till I saw it on Twitch. But
crazy.
I do still agree with your main point that you pick that game up when the servers are gone or the updates are no longer available, and even if that's just a bug and it doesn't affect you, the game's still shit without that. It's even worse without the base update, because I played it a little bit after that day one update, and it was a little bit better, and then I was like, well, I'm taking this back to Redbox.
Makes sense.
My heart enough. I wanted to, when I was driving back to the store to take that game back, I was very tempted to just steer right into oncoming traffic.
Frodo in the chat says Tony Hawk 5 is worse than GunWorld 1.
My heart was so broken. Tony Hawk is just such an important game for me. I love Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And God, did it kill me when that game sucked as bad as it did.
So did you play Sunset Overdrive?
Yes, I love that game. That's a weird game, isn't it?
Oh,
I
God,
love
yeah.
It's fantastic. And the way that I describe it to people is it's like Left 4 Dead meets Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Yeah, it's
don't ask me how, but Chris managed 108% that game.
I think I actually have achievements left to go because they added some, and I just haven't
Oh, he added. So you beat the game. You just haven't beat the updates.
Okay, they've added new stuff. Yeah, I like to think of it like that too. Like it is a lot like Tony Hawk because the combat is like a combo system, and there's a lot of like jet set radio.
Traversal, like
There's like some jet set radio in there and stuff like that, and then it's just got a crazy cool art style to it. That game was criminally underappreciated.
Yep.
It is not fair that Xbox, Microsoft funded and secured such a crazy, different, innovative, and awesome game, and it just wasn't appreciated. And that's the stuff that irritates me because you always have people asking for more creativity in AAA games. And
Sunset Overdrive was the reason why I bought my Xbox One, and I still stand by that. Like,
I think a lot of that still stems to the whole initial Xbox One reveal and people making up their mind about it and shitting on everything Microsoft does, whether it's good or bad or true or false.
They've put out a lot of really good, Microsoft-only stuff on the Xbox. But yeah, they got so far behind with this generation that I feel like they can't catch up no matter what they try.
No, they can't. And that's fine because even as far back as they are behind the PlayStation 4, they're still selling a lot of consoles. Like the Xbox One is still life to date compared to previous console generations. It's still a great selling system. This is not anything on the level of like the Wii U or the Dreamcast or the GameCube. People act like the Xbox One is bombing, but it's only doing quote-unquote bad in comparison to the PlayStation 4.
Yeah,
and the PlayStation 4...
I will say, anytime someone brings up like, oh, well, look at how poorly it sells in Japan, I want to backhand them. I want to be like, dude, that's the home of Nintendo and Sony, all right?
Right.
These people have been raised on those style of games, especially the games that never come to the U.S.
Exactly. Well, and not only that, people have to remember that the console market in Japan is dying.
Yeah, handhelds, man. Handhelds and cell phones.
And even the PlayStation 4 isn't doing tremendous in Japan. America is the biggest worldwide market for video games. So, like, if Xbox, with 360, it was dominating America last time, that's still something to be proud of, even if it's not selling well in the other countries. Well, it's selling really, really well in the biggest territory. So it makes sense that that's their target. But, both consoles are selling tremendously well. I actually prefer the PlayStation 4, but despite that, I develop for the Xbox One and I buy more games for the Xbox One because I like the ecosystem. I like Xbox Live. I like the controller more. And even though the games there's no debating. The games on the Xbox One, multiplayer games, are inferior, quote unquote. I don't mind and I don't care. The games still play great. They still look great. Like some games have frame rate hiccups that they don't have on PS4, and some games run at lower resolution than they would on PS4. But I still like the Xbox ecosystem, and that stuff doesn't bother me enough that I'm always going to buy my games for that platform. I really like Xbox. That's why I develop games for them. And they have a much better suite of exclusives right now. I agree. The only game on PS4 right now that I really feel like, man, you gotta play this game. Like, I've had the PS4 since launch. I've had both since launch, and I've liked the exclusives on PS4, but they're few and far between, and none of them have been like, man, this is why I bought the system.
Yeah.
But no joke, the hype is not a lie. Uncharted 4 is phenomenal.
Well, because Naughty Dog doesn't fuck around.
Yeah, no, they do not. The Last of Us is one of the best games I've ever played.
Yep.
Like, just Uncharted 4 is the first
last game
time
I played before I sold my PS3.
So, like, yeah, that's the first time since the PS4's come out that I've finally been like, this is why I have this and why I'm playing on this system. Everything else, like, I can play it on both, and I like a lot of Xbox features better, so I play it on Xbox. But Xbox has great exclusives on it, and the thing that sucks is because it's selling less, there's a lot of really great exclusives that people are just not playing, and this is all stemming off what you said, but it's Sunset Overdrive, man. What a phenomenal game.
It was free for a
Sunset
while,
Overdrive was like the first game that I actually, in a long time, and it kind of rekindled my love for video games again because
it's a video game.
Yeah.
It's not taking itself too seriously. Yeah. It's just good.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal.
I am going to let you guys know I will have to take off here in 8 minutes. So I'll stop talking and let you ask whatever questions you had in mind.
I actually did have another question or two about the game, if we could go back to that weird topic we were talking about earlier about GunWorld.
Okay, yeah, no. Never heard of this stupid game.
I know that the game has levels in it, like you could level up in the game, but I can never see how much experience I have. Is that intentional, or are you looking to add like an experience counter?
That was intentional, but not really like intentional. Like I just never put anything in there because I didn't think it was super important, because you do actually kind of level up really fast through the game. Most players hit level 10.
Sorry, he just walked off a cliff for no reason.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw it. Most people hit level 10 by the time they're maybe just past the halfway point of the game. So
I think I'm at level 6 right now.
I figured I didn't want to clutter any more of the UI when you pause the game. And I was like, okay, I got this screen here. I'll just show you what your current perks are. If it's a requested enough feature, I'll take the time to put it in. But
Have you considered increasing the level cap at all, since people are hitting 10 really quick?
Yeah, actually, if I end up adding... I want to do a campaign expansion in general that would raise the level cap, that would double it, and add 2 more sections to the world map with new levels and new secrets to find and new guns and stuff. New playable
That's fucking
characters.
awesome.
One of the things I really want to bring back into the game, kills me that I had to cut this, but originally GunWorld II was even more of an RPG in that it had a party system. And there were 3 playable characters that you recruited throughout the game, and you could swap between them in mid-level.
That's cool as hell.
Dwayne's whole thing was that he had gear and equipment that you could buy to change his perks, and then you could play President Eagle, and his whole thing was that he could fly, so there were levels that were more vertical that you had to use him. And then Rebecca Scott would have been the other character, and she had this whole thing where when she planted a gun seed, instead of being a crop that she could pick, it became like a turret. So there were kind of these tower defense sections of the game where you had to switch to her, and unfortunately that stuff kind of got cut. President Eagle's whole system of being able to fly and stuff just got condensed down into the double and triple jump gun, and that's just something that Dwayne gets now. If I ever did another GunWorld, that would probably be the first thing I focus on bringing back from the cutting room floor, is the idea of the party system.
I think that would be awesome. I don't know how public you were with that concept art that you showed me in email with the more 16-bit style look. But I would love to see you actually do a third GunWorld with 16-bit style visuals, this whole RPG system, a bigger open world. I think, especially if this one takes off, as people realize that this is significantly better than the first title, I think this could be a solid franchise.
I think I think it's funny. I love the characters, so I'm not going to say never, because I have... The game ends in a way that sets up potential for another game, but it does have an ending. So, don't think that you're going to play through the game and get a cliffhanger. But I set it up so that I could come back to it. The SNES style, 16-bit style, I would love to do that, but it all depends on what kind of funding and budget I'm going to have. Because there's no way I could have done the game this size doing 16-bit graphics as opposed to 8-bit. But I would love to do like a Mega Man X style, much bigger, more...
GunWorld X.
But I can say with certainty there will never be a GunWorld 3. If there is ever another GunWorld, it will be GunWorld 4. And if you...
I approve.
Anybody that beats the game will be able to see how that's kind of hinted at, that you could skip an entire entry in the series.
God damn it.
there's the endings. The ending's pretty funny. But it sets up the future of the GunWorld universe, quote unquote, in a way that if I skipped GunWorld 3 and just put out GunWorld 4, people would chuckle and be like, "Oh, okay, I get it." Like, it wouldn't come as a surprise.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But But yeah, if I ever do another one, it'll be GunWorld 4. I would like to do another one, but I'm not doing another one right now. I can tell you that with certainty.
What is you mentioned you're working on something new. Is that something that you're able to talk about yet, or is that still too early to mention?
I can talk about it. I guess I'm trying to think of how much I should talk about. There's no reason not to talk about it, just that I just don't want to take too much away from GunWorld right now. I can say that my next game, it is still playing to my strengths. It's a 2D platformer. It is still, 8-bit NES style, a little bit more exaggerated than strict NES style. But it has no guns. It is a... I guess if you can say that GunWorld is really heavily inspired by Mega Man, then I would say this next game is really Castlevania.
Nice.
But with the twist being that the game is much easier. It's about replayability, and it's about accessibility, and it's about having fun and exploring. It's not about challenge at all. So it's really a whole different kind of game. It's melee combat based. I guess the last little tease I'll give you is the game is about math.
Math. Interesting.
It's Math Munchers.
Oh my God, Number Munchers Redux would be incredible. Number Munchers HD rated.
So I'm planning on talking about the game more shortly after the GunWorld 2 launch. I'll give you guys a little exclusive, I guess, because like how many, whatever. The game is called Abacus.
Abacus,
which is a play off the fact that the game is about math, and it stars. It stars a female character. She's the lead.
Named Annie Abacus.
Well, her name is Abacus. And she has a spear and a cloak.
This sounds interesting.
And it's very Castlevania inspired.
What kind of launch window are you looking for that? Sometime later this year, early next year?
December of this
year.
Ooh.
What platforms?
Xbox One currently.
Yes!
Well, Joe just got a happy boner.
So hopefully SML will be able to cover that one when it is ready and available, and we'll have to get you back on for that.
Yeah, just make sure you're in touch.
But it's creeping up on 9:30 for us here on the East Coast, so we should let you get going. It has been an absolute pleasure talking to you. It's been a fantastic chat. By all means, whenever you want to come back and chat with us some more, we're going to have an open slot for a co-host, so maybe we could just do it weekly or something. Yeah,
this poor Pappy guy.
Man, fuck him.
I feel like I came in here and I just took his spotlight. I didn't even let him talk on his final show.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome if you replaced him.
Pappy, do you have any, you only had one question. Before you disappear into the night, possibly forever, do you have any other questions before I go?
No, it doesn't have to. Joe actually has a guy behind me with a baton, so I have to stay on script.
It's not a baton.
No, hey, it was just really great having you on, man. This game looks awesome. I honestly don't know that I will ever play it because I am a scrub, and I know this. But I definitely look forward to watching some people play this on Twitch. And yeah, dude, I wish you great luck in success for this game. I
appreciate that.
I think a lot of people are going to find it as one of those awesome, gorgeous games that actually throw some difficulty on it. But like you have hinted at a couple of times, if you use your brain pan, you can actually get cut through a lot of the difficulty. Unless you walk off a cliff again.
Like Shiz.
There's a lot of speedrun potential in this game, too.
There is.
Yeah, that's what I like about it, too.
You got to get this at a SGDQ.
Somebody find an SGDQ or AGDQ streamer and convince them to play the game. Because if I do it, they're going to be like, oh, he's shilling the game. But if somebody else does it,
see, now...
Get Harry Cabbage on the case.
Do you have notes on how to speedrun it, then? Since you made the game.
I have my own strats, but those are, I have a pretty blinded view of the game. I immediately saw people playing GunWorld 1 that were speedrunning it faster than me because they were doing strats that I never even thought of. So I could give people places that are, good places to start, but, I guarantee you a seasoned speedrunner is going to find better strats than I could offer.
I always wanted to get into speedrunning.
Chris, this is your game. Chop. Get to it.
I can get the insider information on how to,
Well, for next week's show, we're going to have a giveaway for the game, so you could always enter that giveaway and try getting a copy.
Joe, how would I enter that giveaway?
Well, I don't have the details yet. I'll probably announce it over the weekend, so make sure to follow at the SML Podcast on Twitter. You could stay abreast of all of our contests.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
Breast.
Yeah.
So, Joe, again, it was absolutely fantastic talking with you. I am confident that you have definitely held up the name Joe well. And proud.
Coming from you, that means a lot.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't mean anything.
Amazing.
Joe, do you have any final words for our listeners before we hang up on you and you move on with your life and forget you ever came here?
I have a wife and son, and please let me continue to feed them.
Okay.
Please buy GunWorld II. I worked very hard on it. If you buy it, let me know. If you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know.
And how can people let you know?
They can come at me on Twitter at M07Games. You can say whatever you want. If you say something vile, I might just be friendly in response and say sorry that you feel that way and then block you. But if you have constructive criticism, I will always be there to respond to it. I will be timely, letting you know when to expect updates and stuff like that. Just talk to me. I'm always very open about development and what I'm doing. Just come find me. Come talk to me.
Awesome. Very awesome. It has been a blast chatting with you. Your game is great. I'm even going to give you spoilers because we're going to do an official review in a little bit, but on our buy it, try it, deny it scale, I'm giving yours a buy it, my man.
I'm grinning for nipple to nipple over here.
Nipple to nipple. The best kind of smile.
It is.
Titty smiles are the only
I'm going to
smiles.
have to go to a doctor, though, because I don't think it should be like that.
All right, have a good one, Joe.
Much for having me on here. You guys have an awesome rest of your night.
You too, good sir. Have a good one.
Yep, see ya.
Oh, all right. That was fun.
Hey, we kept the wrong Joe.
I get it.
Hey, he got to the boss.
So,
oh my god, he finally got to the boss.
Yeah, and I end it right in time.
Perfect.
Because I don't want to see if he does. I don't want to ruin whether or not he actually completes it.
I'm going to go with a no.
Probably.
So do you guys email Joe? One of our.
Do you guys want to do the emails first, the news first, or the reviews first?
Well, I'm saying one of our listeners sent in a last second email, so don't forget.
I gotta find which window that is.
I need to check my email.
We should news.
We have. Drum roll. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 emails. 6 if you include the one that Frodo is now following us on Twitch. So thanks, Frodo. Let's see. We have 2 giveaways to take care of this week. Oh, son of a bitch. I forgot that I had people email questions for Joe.
Derp.
I had people... Derp. One person Daniel N. sent in an email for Joe, who is no longer with us on this call. What is your favorite 8-bit game? How has GunWorld II improved upon the first game? And what would you have liked to see in the sequel that wasn't included? I think we tackled pretty much all of those.
I think we hit everything pretty much.
But since he's the only one who emailed in a question for Joe, he's getting one of the giveaway codes for GunWorld II.
Oh, man. I hope we still have enough left that I can still enter.
Let me see how many codes we have. Let's make sure it's on the proper window as well. We'll have 2 more codes to give away.
Excellent. I'm vying for one.
So we do have 2 other codes to give away today. We have Grand Prix Rock'N Racing, which we will be reviewing shortly, and then we also have Ascan 2 from 10 Ton Games, which we covered last week. We have 1 code for Ascan. We have 3 for Grand Prix Rock'N Racing, and we have 2 entries for each game. So,
whichever one we don't pick for gets Rock'N Racing.
Well, technically, they'll both get Rock'N Racing.
Right, but I'm saying, like, if we have 3 for the one, you said you had 3 for Rock'N Racing?
Yeah.
And 2 emails for each game?
Yes.
So the booby prize for the 1...
Yeah. Sorry you did not win Asken 2. Here's a code for Rock'N Racing.
Here's Rock'N Racing.
We have 2 for Asken, which we only have 1 code. And we have 2 for Rock'N Racing, which we have 3 codes.
Yes.
Are you saying that one person would get 2 copies of Rock'N Racing?
No. So we have 3 codes of Rock'N Racing and 2 emails, right? So
both of them get one.
And we still have 1 more code for Rock'N Racing.
Yes.
So we have 1 code for Asken.
Yes.
And 2 emails.
Yes.
So whoever we don't pick,
they're the same 2 people.
Okay, see, that's what we did.
Well, then we've got an extra code that we just hold on to forever.
Give it to other Joe.
I guess. Anyway, the first email for Asken comes from Daniel N. He says, I've enjoyed many games from 10 Tons Limited and would love to chance to play this one. But I'm curious why they've called this game Asken. Were they trying to spell ascend and forgot to hit spell check?
I can do it, as can you.
Get it.
And the other one is from Cole, the wonderful Eternal Rage in our chat room right now. Says, hey guys, I almost missed my chance to enter this week's giveaway, so in the interest of brevity, I'm including both in one email. For Asken 2, I'd like that one solely for myself, and I know I could 1,000 it before Shiz, even though he had a head start.
Oh. I
kind of want to give it to her, just if she could.
Yeah, I like it when the gauntlet is laying down.
So I enjoy the fact that she's in our chat right now. So, hey, Eternal Rage, guess what?
Hey, guess what?
Chicken butt.
You're winning a copy of Asken.
Woo!
Frodo, do you want Grand Prix Rock'N Racing? I see you in the chat there. If you want Grand Prix Rock'N Racing, I'll give you our 3rd copy of Grand Prix Rock'N Racing. If you really want it.
And now we wait 18 seconds for it to get to him.
No, now I'll move on to the other emails. For Grand Prix Rock'N Racing, since I have Cole's email open, I'll just say, I would like to win Grand Prix Rock'N Racing because my kids love to play racing games, and with school letting out for the summer next week, I'd love to be able to sit them all down and let the Xbox babysit them rather than being a responsible parent.
Honesty.
Well, I admire your honesty, but it might not be done with this game.
Have you reviewed this game yet, Joe? Is this the
no?
We're gonna do it.
I'm doing the giveaway before I review it.
I'm saying, is that the reason you're doing the giveaway before you review it?
Yes.
It says, I hope y'all have a great show, and to Pappy, your presence will be missed. Good luck in your future endeavors. Thank
you.
So, good news. You win Grand Prix Rock'N Racing. The bad news is our other entry is again from Daniel, who says, I have a need for speed. Oops, wrong game. But yeah, you get the idea. I love racing games, and I have my life set to cruise control. Thanks for the chance to play this. You're welcome, if you really think so.
And Frodo will take the 3rd one.
And Frodo, you're getting our 3rd copy. So
I'm aware of what the review is. Thankfully, the kids have low standards. Wow.
Let's see how low their standards really go.
I mean, the rule is here, we don't shit on games, but if a game does earn its, buy it, try it, deny it, then we try to be honest.
Oh, I'm going to be honest.
You're gonna ride that fine line?
Oh, I'm gonna be honest.
Well, we can't be our whole thing is we are not overly harsh on this show, so we're gonna keep it that.
No. You gotta ride that fine line of being honest, not just being like,
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna be honest. Be honest. We'll get there. We're not there yet. I'm gonna wait.
Okay. Well, anyway, do you guys want to do the news first, or do you want to just jump into these reviews?
Well, let's just do the reviews since we did the giveaways. We might as well.
All right, then let us start with the big one.
All right, let's do it.
I've been starting with the big one for a while over here.
Wait. So, first game to talk about is Grand Prix Rock'N Racing, developed and published by EnjoyUp Games. It releases May 13th for... Shit, I forget the price. Let me check my email. Let me check my emails. Where is the fucking email? I should probably have my email in the other window so people can't look at what I'm doing. $7.99.
Yeah, you should probably move that.
It is $7.99. It will be on sale for $6.39, I believe. The game.
Go, you go first.
I've never heard of a single game they've done, but
well, we've covered a number of their games. Their first title that we covered on our show was called Rock'N Racing Off-Road DX, which I enjoyed. It wasn't a great game, but it was a lot like the Ivan Stewart off-road racing games, and I had fun with it. It was just an enjoyable, goofy game. And then they put out a handful of other titles. We covered a number of them. Unepic was one of my favorite games that they put out. I had a blast with that one. This one,
so they're a distributor.
So
they're a distributor and a developer, and this one is developed in-house by them.
Okay.
It is a top-down, like 3/4 view racing game, a lot like RC Pro M or the Ivan Stewart off-road racing games. This game just has a lot of problems. It
has a 1 out of 10.
All right,
go ahead, Chris.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you what I think of it briefly. Let me start by what I do like about it. What I do like about it is, like you said, it kind of has that feel of that off-road, the old school like off-road game, which I really enjoy. I think it's polished enough visually to enjoy.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the visuals in the game. I like some of the textures. Just the look of the game it's enjoyable. My eyes don't bleed.
Right.
We'll put it that way.
I think the design of it, I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. But as a game for gameplay, one of the main issues with the way that it plays is the turning radius is very wide. Like now granted, and this is something that I noticed the more and more that I played it. Obviously, it is meant to handle like these F1 type cars, which with these types of cars, they don't have a very wide turning radius when you're going fast. And you're supposed to brake for every turn.
Yeah.
And I recognize that because when you brake, it'll increase your turbo. However, it feels like the cars, at least when I jumped into it, felt like the cars are being held back a lot. Like, a lot.
The game doesn't know what acceleration is.
Yeah, like the rate of acceleration for these vehicles is like, it is molasses. Like, it is, you hit the button and you're like, wait, did I hit it? Like, am I moving yet? Like,
see, I had such an issue with trying to figure out a good way to do this review that I actually reached out to our audience and I asked if anyone was interested in lending a hand with this. And Tanner Tate, who's written into our show a few times, he was actually like, yeah, I'd love to check it out, because I didn't mention the game on Twitter at all because I didn't want to be negative about the game before it came out. I don't like being negative about games. And he said he'd be interested. I said, are you sure? And he said yes. And he actually emailed in a written review, which I figure we could read this and we could discuss his review of it, which might be easier than us trying to get through it ourselves.
Well, I mean, it's not that I need to like get through the review. I think I think it could very simply be put at the fact that as the game stands right now, it does not play well. It's not enjoyable. However, I think it's stuff that could be easily fixed. So I'm curious to see if an outpouring of reactions and reviews will make them reevaluate where the state of the game and possibly fix some of these things. Because like I said, I think it looks good. And I think it's a game that I would sit down and play casually every once in a while if
it played better.
If it played better. Which
I would just like to point out that at least the racetrack looks like a cock and balls.
Oh, that's just... I mean,
that's
if
a
yours
gigantic
looks like
ball
that,
sack.
you should probably see a doctor.
He is nothing but balls.
The goiter at the is something to worry about, but, still.
But anyway, since he did send in a review, I am going to read his review. Tanner writes in, Grand Prix Rock'N Racing is a top-down arcade-style racer trying to revive in combat classics such as Super Sprint, Ivan Iron Man, Stewart's Off-Road Racing, Micro Machines, etc. Developed by EnjoyUp Games, released for the Xbox One May 13th, 2016. I wasn't sure what to expect from Grand Prix Rock'N Racing because of the reception of the last game, Rock'N Racing Off-Road DX, which wasn't as well received by users and critics. But like I said, I personally, not Tanner, I personally enjoyed Rock'N Racing. Despite a few problems, I still had fun with it. Do not get your hopes set high for this installment. I personally have never been fond of racing games. However, I've played many in my time. But this is not a game I am glad to say I invested time into. There are 10 total tracks in the game, ranging from locations such as Canada all the way to Japan, each time completing a track, unlocking the next location. I couldn't make it past Italy, which is the third track in the game, and believe me, I tried. The controls are awful, the driving mechanics, please don't even get me started. As the announcer says this game is on fire, it really is not. Starting off with the pros of the game, which will be a fairly short list. Number 1, online leaderboards to see your placing against the rest of the lunatics playing this game. Number 2, 2-player split screen. If you have a friend or a loved one over and you want to play something to laugh and rage at, this is the game for you. It actually has 4-player split. So that's actually fairly impressive. Number 3, the soundtrack in small doses is pleasant, however, it can get annoying after several hours. Now with the cons. Number 1, I have played a bunch of games with annoying announcers, but this game took the cake with the most repetitive and obnoxious announcer of all time. And I absolutely agree. I have heard, this race is amazing, fantastic, wonderful. Even when the race was over. Just the announcer in this game. Ugh. Number 2, I disagree with this one. He says, graphically, this game reminds me of something on a mobile game would look like. I'm not one to badger on a game for graphics. However, it's very lackluster. They're not terrible, but they're not even close to being good. Again, I disagree. I like the looks of the game. It's doing what it's trying to accomplish. It's not putting too much effort into the visuals that'll detract from the rest of the game. It looks like it should look. Cars on a track. Number 3, going back to the announcer. A lot of people's complaints with Rock'N Racing Off-Road DX was the repetitiveness. You will hear, this race is on fire, this is super, excellent, great, this is the last lap, go for it, man. I'm not sure if the developers even listened to the complaints of users from the last game. Number 4, lack of difficulty changer. I don't know if it's because I'm completely terrible, which I probably am, but that's not the point. The AI is godlike. I had moments when they had finished the track by the time I finished the first lap. This is another one of my actual big gripes with the game. You start the game with 0 power-ups to your vehicle, and you are very clearly racing against cars that are fully or mostly upgraded. I played the first race in the game, ran a 100% flawless race. No hits, no nudges, nothing. 4th place by like 30 seconds.
So this is like
it's an
Mario
uphill
Kart.
bot. It's an uphill
Mario
battle.
Kart on steroids.
It's just you have to unlock upgrades through racing, where eventually you'll get a fully upgraded vehicle. It's just you start off with nothing, but the AI is already upgraded. You are fighting an uphill battle in this. And it's just unfair to start. Number 5, on occasions when you wreck, which will happen a lot because of the asshole AI, you'll spin out and a giant black circle will appear around your vehicle, indicating you can respawn. On several occasions, the game would spawn in an area that was very inconvenient, such as dirt. I couldn't gain enough speed to get myself out, which would make me start the race over, which leads to my next con, the lack of a restart button on championship races. I'm not sure if the game was intended that way or because I'm playing it early, but the lack of that feature is a major inconvenience. I think that just falls under acceleration. The acceleration in this game is like molasses. I had already upgraded my acceleration after winning a few races, and I would start in the middle of the pack. The race would start, I would hold the button to accelerate, and the car behind me would start pushing me to accelerate. Cars behind me are pushing me to accelerate. Now to decide whether or not I should advise others to pick this up. Unless you're a true fan of the series, I highly recommend staying away from this game until a patch comes out to improve the title, or a sale, and even then be cautious of what you're buying. I personally would say pass, even if it's on sale, due to the clunkiness and how poorly the game feels. Thanks to the SML podcast for the chance to review the game for them. I kind of echoed what was said there, but honestly, I can't say anything else but to deny this one.
I would say deny it. However, if there is a major patch where they fix a lot of the issues, that could change.
Yeah.
But as it stands right now, I would say deny it.
Yeah. So yeah, Grand Prix Rock'N Racing. We're sorry, guys. EnjoyUp. You've been awesome to us.
Hysterical picture, by the way, on your desktop.
Oh, that one? Under Fraser?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. As soon as I saw it on Twitter, I'm like, yeah, I've got to make that.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, man. Let's change gears with a much better game. We'll just go with this one again. GunWorld II. Might as well give our official review on it. Developed and published by MO7 Games. Releases May 13th for $7.99. You heard us talk about it for an hour and a half, so the game is awesome, and you should buy it. If you played the first one and you hated it, give the second one a shot. $8 is significantly more than the $2 of the first game, but the game
You do not have to play the first one.
No, don't play the first one. I mean, even still, the first one's $2. It's $2.
Yeah.
I still can't give the first one and deny it because it's $2.
It's $2. Yeah. Yeah, you really can't get much for $2.
The second one, just the improved visuals, the improved controls, the improved mechanics, the addition of the RPG elements, the overworld, the openness, the hidden secrets, all the hidden fun stuff in the game.
It was made by one dude.
Yeah, buy it. That's our review. Buy it. Anyone else have anything to say on that?
Buy it.
Anything else, Pappy? Nothing?
He's asleep.
Pappy's still here?
He's asleep.
Possibly.
He fell asleep.
Oh, no, he probably went to pee.
He went to poop.
Damn him.
Anywho.
He's like not even here. He's not even here.
Well, we're getting used to it already.
Yeah. This is next week already.
We're good. We're fine.
Good thing it's not like my next game I was going to have him cover.
Or we could talk about the one that I'm really excited to talk about.
I don't know which one you're really excited to talk about.
Raiden.
Ah, yes. Raiden V, developed and published by Moss. Released May 11th in the United States and Europe for $50, but it originally released in February. Japan has finally made its way over to the States. Go ahead, Chris. Talk about it.
Dude, it's fucking I'm like so pumped that there's a Raiden game on Xbox One. Raiden was pretty much like one of the first games that I ever went batshit crazy for in an arcade. Because I never played a bullet hell until I played Raiden. I think it was Raiden 2. And I was just like, damn, this is like the most fun I've ever had in an arcade in my entire life. And I tried finding other versions of the game. The only ones that I could ever find, I had one on the PS2 way back. And it might have actually been like just a home version of Raiden 2. Obviously, like I kind of like I lost touch with a lot of the Raiden, the other games in the series, because there was just so much other stuff going on. But Joe, when you told me that you were like, "Yo, I got a new Raiden game," I was so pumped. There's some interesting things that they ended up incorporating into it, like the whole like cheering system.
Yeah, I enjoy the cheer system of the game.
So basically, like, there's these mini achievements that pop up where it's like, hey, you did this cool thing. Or, well, anybody that's currently playing the game at that time, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So anybody else that's playing Raiden and they do something cool, it'll pop up on a global thing where it's like, hey, so-and-so did this cool thing. And then you can congratulate them by cheering. And that fills up your special meter for one of your most powerful attacks, which I thought that was kind of neat because it's kind of more of a communal like.
Yeah, it's not something you need to do in the game because the gauge will slowly fill up on its own.
But it fills up more.
Yeah, it gives a bump to it every time.
Just for being
oh my god, he's back!
I've been listening for like
2 minutes.
What time is it? Where am I?
Yeah, the whole the cheer system is just a really cool addition to keep you more invested in the game, and it'll pop up if someone kills a boss or if someone, even if they just start the game up and they connect to the whole online service that pops up and you could hit it. And
then, it just says like, hey, so-and-so connected to the network thing, and you're just
and then when you do stuff, you get cheers as well. And at the end of the game, it shows like the top 5 people that you've cheered for and the top 5 people that cheered for you. It's just a cool, fun little social addition. It's pretty neat.
But I like that it's a social edition that that has benefit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, you can do this thing and try and be more social, and we're going to try and get you to interact with other people, but we're going to actually give you something for doing it.
It actually encourages you to do it on a positive level, too.
Right.
Which is really cool. Like, it's like, hey, we're encouraging you to not be a douchebox, and the less of a douchebox you are, the easier the game could be.
Always fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. I will say that if you're not well versed in bullet hell games, this is it could be a great way to get started, but also a very frustrating one. It is very much a traditional bullet hell, but there's some improvements that make it a little bit more, I guess, accessible. The radar in the corner is like kind of neat. I don't really pay attention to it too often just because there's too much other shit going on the screen. Having like an actual shield, because I'm sure they've done that in like newer ones, but I'm used to the older ones where it's just like, all right, I think I got hit once or twice. I'm probably dead if I get hit again. Like, you didn't really have any kind of gauge to go off of. So I like that there's like that stuff on the side. I like that it actually shows like the power level of your weapons and which one you have and all that kind of stuff. But it is very difficult to see certain attacks in certain levels.
Yeah, like, I've noticed that.
Extreme, like more difficult than I remember. And I think the whole like, while I like the idea of having different weapons and choosing, because there's a red one, a blue one, and a purple one. And they all have like different kind of like, they all react in different ways. I like that there's certain other ones that you can kind of switch between before you start the level to try and, maximize.
Yeah, there's 3 of each that you could choose for your loadout.
But the thing that I wish that you could do is I kind of wish that there was a way to, I don't know, maybe like switch between a couple different ones. Like, instead of having like, if you wanted like a red one, a blue one, and a purple one, I think it would be cool if you could just equip 3 different versions of the purple one, or like 3 different versions of the red one, and be able to swap between them.
I think it's neat because then the power-ups that make them stronger, they would only be the one color, and you wouldn't know which one it would power up. Well, no, that's
the thing. You could potentially pick up a blue one or a purple one, and it wouldn't do anything.
I don't know. I think it's better this way because the way you switch between the weapons is by picking up the different colored jewel. If you just had 3 purple ones, how would you know to switch? I think it just makes more sense that way.
I like the idea of just kind of like really fucking with it and having the ability of being able to switch. Or at least, I wish you could switch between the red, the blue, and the purple on the fly.
Yeah, that'd be nice, but I can understand why they did what they did. And honestly, once you choose the purple one that's just the homing laser, you won't use anything else anyway.
Now, which one? The ones that split off?
One. Yeah.
Or the one that's in the picture that you have up?
It's a different one, not that one.
Okay. Yeah, because I was using a purple one. I think it was like the one that splits off and just like automatically goes to a bunch of shit.
Yeah. But even still, I think I think the big problem people are going to have with the game is that it's a $50 full price game. People who are into the genre are probably excited that it's only $50. Mm-hmm. When the game released in Japan, it was 7,700 yen, which translates to $65. So we're actually getting it cheaper than Japan and cheaper than the people who imported it. So $50. I know we can be touchy on price for the games on our show, but I think
this is technically a AAA title, is it not?
A AA title. I'd say AAA is like the big name publishers.
Okay.
This is
I forget who actually makes Raiden. I just know that it's a long-standing.
It's a fairly large franchise. Yeah. It is an Xbox exclusive, which is always fun to have. I'm gonna give it a buy it for $50. If you've got the $50 and you're a fan of the franchise, you're already probably you might have already imported the game. So who knows? But I think if you're a fan of shmups, it's not a full-on bullet hell, although it does have like 6 different difficulties, so you can make it what you want. Yeah. But I got to give it a buy it. I think it's worth it.
I would say buy it just because it's such an awesome. I love this franchise. I'm a little biased for it. I would say if you're curious about this style of game, I would absolutely try this one, because this is really the one that, like, this is the only game like this that I ever really got into.
Yeah.
This was the one series that always kind of did it for me.
Yeah, right. Anyway,
that would be my suggestion.
Next game to talk about is called Forced Showdown, developed and published by BetaDwarf, released March 29th on Steam for $19.99, where there's a deluxe edition with a bonus DLC, soundtrack, and etc. for $24.28. Pappy, this was your game to cover, so give us your thoughts on Forced Showdown.
I sucked at it.
Tell us stuff that we don't already know.
So, Forced Showdown is the next in the Forced world. And this one was a nice little change of pace in that you're kind of in an arena. I mean, they make it blatantly obvious at the beginning, like, hey, welcome to the Forced arena. Here you are. Go win. And each we'll call it level, is broken down into multiple sections. So, for the good and the bad, it's not as hard as a roguelike because you can, if you get through all of the sections, beat the boss, you're now done. The downside is if you die in any section, you go back to the very beginning. So if there's like 5-6 stages to beat the boss, and you die on stage 5, you go back to stage 1. So you got to be a little smart with it. Every stage you beat, though, you get a point, and you have cards. So those cards have different values. So like if you have a 5-point card, you got to beat 5 stages before you can even equip it. But you can equip any card with the equal or lesser number of points you currently have. So the cards give you advantages. Every time you get hit, you spawn a little drone or 25% chance to block, stuff like that to make it easier. But you still got to kind of play smart with it. And once you get far enough into the game, you'll unlock a companion that helps you, air quotes, helps you defeat each level. My companion is kind of a giant wuss, but he's the starting companion that you get. The upside is it's fun. It's a really simple game to pick up and play, and I really enjoyed it. I legitimately enjoyed it. The enemies were interesting. The arena announcer and your trainer and stuff were kind of funny. They stuck to the amusing side. Like your initial trainer was a rat that sounded kind of like a drunken Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, you're going to get through the level now. And it was just, I just fucked up my throat doing that. It was a terrible idea.
Yep.
So anyhow, the upsides are that. The downsides is it does accept a controller. I don't recommend it if you're playing it on Steam. It was so much easier to use a mouse and keyboard. Like, I died 3 or 4 times with my controller. First time with a mouse and keyboard, I finished the entire level in one go. It's a lot easier to aim because you have 360-degree aim while you're firing, and it's simple enough. Left, right, up, down, and then your mouse wherever you put your mouse, it shows the aim. Press left click to fire, and you just hold down fire because you'll do like a burst of energy, and then after about 3 seconds, you'll shoot out like a mega blast and do like 3 times more damage to any enemies that get hit by it. The enemies are varied and they're insane. The ghosts suck ass because they just chill, and then they're like, you know what, fuck this guy, his back's to us, and they fly through you and hurt you, and you're like, god damn it, fell for it again. There were a couple of frame rate issues. I had to drop it down to medium to get no judder from it. But again, that's personal experience. PC gaming, you run that risk.
Yeah.
You know. But I'd give it a definite try. It was fun. Again, it's not for everyone because I won't say grinding, but there's a lot of practice to get through a level because you kind of want to memorize. You know, I went through the first stage, just blowing up everything, like all the destructible environments. The second stage, or the second level, and blow up this shit. Oh, hey, it releases poison gas and I'm dead. Well, fuck. So it's a learning curve, but again, it's not super hard, and like they keep it pretty amusing. You can unlock a lot of characters, unlock a lot of abilities and stuff, and the cards keep it interesting from a strategy standpoint.
Nice.
And I'm done.
All right. Next game, Tabletop Racing World Tour, developed and published by Playrise Digital, is available. It was available May 3rd on the PlayStation 4 and the Vita. It is one of the PlayStation Plus titles. Oh, hey, Jordan's in the chat. What's up, Jordan? It is free with PlayStation Plus for the month of May, although the game is normally $19.99. There is also a Supercharger DLC pack out right now for $8.49 that includes 1 new track, 4 new cars, 3 new championship courses, and 16 new special events. So, first off, the game, when I first saw it, it looked a lot like Super Toy Cars, and I wasn't too sure what to think of it. Once I got my hands on it and played it, I immediately realized that it beats the shit out of Super Toy Cars.
Even the soundtrack, though, because I'm still rocking that band.
The soundtrack will come down to preference. Because while Super Toy Cars had, the Spin Wires, their name?
Yeah, and I'm still rocking that album.
Tabletop Racing has a lot more electronica stuff, which is still good. It's just completely different genres, so you can't really compare that.
Oh, I will.
The game itself, visually, it blows Super Toy Cars out of the water. It's a gorgeous-looking game, although the aesthetic is very much the same of your tiny cars with, blocks around you, and you're a tiny car, and you're on tabletop, so there's dishes, and there's toys, and there's billiard balls that you could run into. It is anywhere from, 4 or 5 cars to 8 cars, depending on the race. They have a bunch of different modes, whether it's normal battle racing where you pick up weapons and attack each other. They have pure racing with no power-ups at all. May the best person win. They have elimination races where the last person at the end of a lap loses. They have what might be my least favorite event, which is basically you start the race half a lap behind someone else, and you have to catch up to them and pass them in a certain amount of time, which that just when I hit those, it killed all of my enjoyment of what I was doing because the computers, they're not going to mess up. They're not going to accidentally take a turn too tight and run into a wall or take it too loose and go flying off the edge. The handling in the game isn't the greatest. The cars do have upgrades that you can make the handling better, tighter, looser, whatever. It's just getting used to it. I can blame a lot of this on the PlayStation 4 controller because we all know how much I fucking hate the PlayStation controller. It's a fun game. It's a free game. If you have a PlayStation 4, I think I said Vita at the beginning, but it's not on the Vita. That was a different game. So I apologize about that.
What a liar.
If you have a PlayStation 4 and you have PlayStation Plus, it's free for the month anyways, so just fucking get it. The DLC pack, I wasn't too sure, being that it's $8.50. I wasn't sure how much would be there. The fact that it includes 4 new cars that you don't have to buy in the game, it's just they're immediately unlocked and ready to go. That could help you get to a lot of the later races quicker if you don't want to slum it through the easier stuff first. It includes a lot of extra content for the amount of extra races and events that you're getting for $8 it's pretty worth it. So I think even the DLC is worth checking out. If you don't have PlayStation Plus, or if you're buying this somewhere that you have to pay the $20 for it, I'll give it a try. It is a fun game, but $20 can be kind of steep for some people for a game that, you know, a lot of people might look at it as a $10 racing game. But I think for what's there and the fact that it's free with PlayStation Plus, if you don't have it, why? Just
Why?
They have told me that an Xbox One version is still in the works later down the road. So hopefully maybe later this summer we'll see it come over to our platform of choice. I'm sure there's a tiny exclusivity window due to the whole PlayStation Plus thing, but either way, keep an eye out for it when it comes our way, and if you have a PlayStation thanger, give it a go.
Thanger.
Next game to talk about, we're once again going over to Pappy. Battlefleet Gothic. Battlefleet, not
Battlefleet.
Battlefleet.
We just played Toesies.
Footsies.
Battlefleet Gothic Armada, developed by Tindalos Interactive, published by Focus Home Interactive, released April 21st for $39.99. If you buy the game within the first 2 months, you get the Space Marine Fleet and Tau Fleet DLC for free when they are released. Happy, tell us about the game.
All right, so I've made no secret that I am a Warhammer whore. Especially Warhammer 40k, which is the Black Library. It's the publisher, and this is what the game is based in. It's the Warhammer 40k universe. So you've got three separate things. You've got kind of a practice mode, you've got story mode, and you've got online. I did story mode when we had the beta, and it was the first 3 stages, and I got to the 3rd stage and got my ass kicked. But apparently, I'm pretending you were supposed to. The storyline is only one storyline. It's the Imperial Armada. So when you play the story, you're only playing with ships like that one in front of us for Twitch viewers. It's fun. It's interesting. Every time you win a battle, you get points based on how much damage did you do, how much damage did you take, how many of your ships are left, and you use those points to level up defense, offense, speed, all of that stuff. Level up. You can even level up your gunner, your commissar, which is one of my favorite, since it's a very bleak world. So during the space battles, your ships actually have a chance to have a mutiny, and your commissar is in charge of, the spine, making sure all of your men are brave and everything. So the higher level your commissar, the less likely you have mutiny, and then if they do mutiny, the quicker you can kill the captain and have the lieutenant take over the ship.
Murder.
It's gorgeous. It's a point and click, but hit spacebar to slow things down. To try and plan out, because again, it slows things, it doesn't stop things, much like We Are the Dwarves. But it's giant-ass space battle, so every ship and every fleet has its good and bad. Here's the bad. The Imperial fleet, compared to the Orc, the Eldar, and Chaos, that are currently playable, is shit. Chaos is faster, and its armor is almost as good. Orcs are faster and have the best armor. Eldar are faster. Well, Eldar are shit too. Okay, I'm going to take that back. Eldar are super fast, but then you hit them with your fucking slingshot and they explode. Like their entire thing. But the problem is balance issues right now. Orc and Chaos are far superior. So if you use a similar points battle when you're going to the multiplayer, whoever plays Imperial loses. Unless they're like fucking like Ender's Game level strategery. But again, they're working on balance. As you heard Joe said, there are more coming out. The Space Marines, those, again, though, with balance, technically they should be OP as fuck. But that is the issue with people playing online right now, is there are certain races that you want to play as and everybody wants to play as, and nobody wants to be Eldar or Imperial. If you're looking for the single player campaign, it's a definite buy it. If you are a Warhammer fan and a space fan, like I ain't gonna say, go out there and buy it, because if you look at the game and go, I got 7 ships. I've got roughly 5,000 miles of space to perform combat in. What do I do now? Maybe you should just give it a try. But so I'll give the general try it as the general. Hey, try this game. You might like it. If you are a Warhammer fan, then this game will do you good. And it's dark as shit. Like I really got to point out, in the beginning of the game, you do your practice fight, and then it takes you back. Your captain goes back to report, hey, there's a huge chaos fleet coming into our sectum of the galaxy, and they're like, well, we have to be sure you're not lying. So they fucking chain him up and psychically torture him to make sure he's not lying. And then they're like, sorry about that. We just had to make sure that you weren't trying to trick us. He's like, I understand. This is the fucking world. And this is 100% accurate to the Warhammer universe. So it is bleak, but it's fun. So. All
right. Anything else on that one?
No, other than, holy fuck, I haven't played online yet personally because I'm terrible, unsurprisingly. But you can go into practice mode and level up. It'll let you level up your character, your ships and stuff, and then you can take that into online. So that's kind of nice.
Neat. Yeah. All right, next game. We have 2 more to go, so stay with us. Next one is called Rogue Stormers, developed and published by Black Forest Games. It released April 21st on Steam for $19.99. Console releases are coming in the future. Happy and I both played this one. I'll give my impressions first. It is
just have a lot of screaming in the background, and that's my impression.
Pretty much. It is a 2D side-scrolling shooter platformer roguelike. So basically take something like Contra or Metal Slug, throw it into a Metroidvania style layout with, you're not just walking to the right the entire game. You're exploring different areas. They have power-ups everywhere, endless enemies, literally endless, because you will never get a goddamn break in that game. Tons of different weapons, tons of different power-ups, and constant ways to die, and you'll die a lot. The whole roguelike thing is very, very roguelikey in the fact that you're gonna die. You are gonna die so fucking much.
We played for 45 minutes and got to level 2 once.
Yeah. The game is just brutal. I think I had an easier time playing by myself, because if you double up with a friend online, of course the game makes itself harder. But
and
if someone dies...
but when you double up with me online, that's an additional handicap.
When you double up and your partner dies, it doesn't make it any easier.
The game doesn't scale down, go, oh, there's just one guy. Because it's like, if you collect enough health on your own, you will revive your partner. So it's like, but we're going to keep murdering your face while you try to do that.
Yeah, the game is just brutally, brutally difficult, which people are going to like that. They're into that kind of thing. The actual gameplay, I fucking love it.
Oh, the gameplay is gorgeous, but I stayed away from roguelikes, so I tried this, and, I was so happy when you soloed the boss and we got to level 2. I was like, holy shit, yes, finally, level 2. I couldn't get here on my own. And then we died, and it goes, oh, no, it's a roguelike. You go back to the beginning of level 1. You have to beat every stage, every boss in one go.
Yeah, it's what roguelikes are. You die, you start over. I don't mind that. I think the only thing that people are going to be turned off here is the difficulty. It is a brutally difficult game,
and there is no difficulty setting.
Yeah, it's just you're gonna get your ass kicked. When you level up, it unlocks perks to make things easier, or you start with bonuses. You start with better weapons or stuff like that. And there are ways to get new power-ups and extra health and stuff like that through the level. But again, the game is just, it's going to kick your ass.
Yeah, but and the first fucking power-up I get is do more damage but have 30 less health. I'm like, I only have 50 health. God damn it.
But honestly, I'll give it a try it just because the difficulty will scare a lot of people away. But if you're interested in a super hard side-scrolling shooter, like Contra RPG, basically.
If you are interested in super hard roguelikes, this might be your game to, like, show off. Like, look at me. I'm awesome. I can beat this game.
Yeah, I really do like the game, though. I cannot wait to see it hit consoles, and hopefully we'll get to give it another look when the console release rolls around, and we'll be able to compare it. Or at least I will.
I'd like to give it a shot. It looks fun.
Don't get me wrong, it's fun, but yeah, I played it. I sold it 30 minutes to give it a try, and I never got anywhere. Like, the farthest I got in the first level was when I just did one playthrough where I just ran away from everything. I finally died.
That's every playthrough for him.
I finally died because there were so many enemies on the screen that my game was actually like glitching.
All right, we got one final game to talk about. This one's actually going to be a multi-week review. This is Pinball Arcade, developed and published by Farsight Studios. I was actually given the opportunity to cover not just the newest Season 5, the tables that are available, but also Season 4 and Season 3 tables in the game. And because there's so many tables, I figured I would break them up over a couple of weeks. So I'm going to start with Season 3. Single tables are available for $5 each. You could get a full season for $29.99, which is 10 tables. Or you could get the pro versions of those tables that have operator menus and, ways that you can move the ball around wherever you want it. It clearly disables leaderboards and achievements and stuff like that, but they're cool options to have. The pro version, you can get, I think, single tables are $7.99, and the season is $39.99. The first 5 that we will talk about in Season 3, the first one is Fish Tales from 1992. I'm just going to go off my notes that I have here. Good table, fun ramps, great sounds and colors. The balls have a tendency to die easily. They'll just go straight down the middle or straight off the sides. But I've played that table in real life, and I've dealt with the same shit in real life with that fucking table. It's a fun table, but it's an
accurate representation, yeah.
Very much so, yes. Fun table. I give that one a thumbs up. Next one is Black Rose, another one from 1992. It's a tougher one to read just because of the colors and the whole layout of the table in digital form. You can't really lean to the left and the right. The game, because it's a pirate theme, they have a can in there, and if you shoot something in the back, there's a ramp that goes directly down the middle of the screen all the way to your flippers that gets very distracting.
Yeah, it sounds like it's weird. I'm not used to hearing about ones that bisect the entire.
Yeah, it's just a distracting ramp in the game, and the ball goes down a lot. A solid 3/4 of my balls went directly out the left out lane. That's the out lanes are the ones on the side where the ball goes down and you can't do anything about it. The fact that so many continually went down the left one had me pissed. It's a neat table. I'm just bad at it. This one, I'm kind of on the fence about.
Fix the left.
Black Knight 2000 is actually from the year 1989. 1989, before most of you kids were born.
That's exactly when I was born.
God damn. It is a cool dual-level look to it, but it looks better than it plays due to the layout. If your ball is on the bottom level and you don't shoot it to the top, the reaction times are very short. Basically, you'll hit it in something and it immediately shoots back at you. The music also got really annoying really quick. There was a last chance thing. I don't know if it was a special event that I hit or not, but when I lost my final ball, the 2 balls that I had locked previously released, and I got to continue playing.
That's nice.
It was fun. Overall, I'm not a fan of this table between just the layout of it, the speed of it. The music was incredibly grating. This one I'm giving a thumbs down.
Like, was it like super repetitive kind of stuff?
Pretty much, yeah.
All right.
Because it was the late 80s, so just... Next one is Who Done It from 1995. Awesome layout, lots of fun, a super, super high-scoring table. It's always fun when you can break 1 billion points on a table.
Jesus.
The extra ball is 1.5 billion, so all the scores are going to be massive. You're going to get like 150 million bonus on a shot. It has a great noir feel. The music is fantastic. Lots of voice clips. They have a roulette wheel in the middle that you can activate to like unlock multi-ball or extra ball. I have seen this one in the wild a number of times, but I've never been able to play it because pretty much that roulette wheel was always broken. So it's nice that I finally got a chance to play this table. One of the glories of digital pinball tables is shit's not going to break. Giving this one a thumbs up, I think it's worth picking up. Final table of the week is called High Speed from 1986. It is an incredibly fast-moving table.
Well, that
it's
makes
expected
sense.
given the name, but at times it is distractingly fast. Wish the virtual tilt of the table was lessened a bit to slow it down a bit, but it is called High Speed. Otherwise, it's fun. Cool music for 1986. Enjoyable overall. If you could deal with the speed, that's another thumbs up. So it's 3 thumbs up, 1 thumbs down, and 1 kind of sitting in the middle. If you're going for the full season, you're already basically paying for it. And we'll have 5 more tables to talk about next week.
Let me know when someone finally ports the Starship Troopers table.
Yo, they're doing the Judge Dredd one.
That's in season 4.
The Starship Troopers one, really?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to have to spend money because every time I go to the Pinball Arcade Museum here, I drop like too much money on it.
I'll give you guys a heads up of what's coming in the following weeks for Pinball Arcade. The rest of Season 3 includes Junkyard, Lights, Camera, Action, High Roller Casino, Diner, and Bram Stoker's Dracula. Season 4 includes Phantom of the Opera, The Party Zone, Earthshaker, Starship Troopers, The Addams Family, Cyclone,
The Addams Family one's so good.
Jackbot, Xenon, Red and Ted's Roadshow, Safecracker. And then Season 5, the ones that are available so far right now are The Getaway, High Speed 2, F-14 Tomcat, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, No Fear, Dangerous Sports, and then the ones that are confirmed and also available on some of the other platforms. I'm just basing things off of Xbox here. Judge Dredd, Fireball, El Dorado, Hurricane, Rescue 911, and Last Action Hero.
That one is fun as hell too.
Right?
Yeah.
So Farsight is not fucking around with their pinball tables.
Yeah.
And it's cool because you're rattling these off, and a lot of these are our tables here at the fucking Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Right. They're real,
real legit, and real, like I've played them. They are fun.
Yeah. If you have the money to pick up the full seasons, it can add up quite a bit, but they're fantastic tables.
How much is a season?
A full season, just the standard tables, is $29.99. That gets you all 10 tables in the season. If you get the pro version is $39.99. That includes stuff like bonus ball colors, the operator mode that lets you fuck around with all the nifty stuff.
Yeah.
Either way, all those tables for $30, it's good stuff.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, and there are I like that they're accurate representations of real tables.
For good and for bad.
I don't really care. I don't really care for the other. What's the other one that you play a lot?
Zen?
FX Pinball.
Yeah, Pinball FX2.
Yeah, the ones who put out the Alien one.
Yep.
I mean, there are. Those are all original digital tables, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they don't exist in the wild.
Yeah, I want to have at home versions of the ones that I see out in the wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, that's why I enjoy the 2 franchises existing side by side, because one gives us tables that don't exist and can never exist, and the other one gives us accurate representations of the tables that will piss us off in bars.
Yeah, and because I'm just good enough at pinball to enjoy myself, but bad enough that I spend a lot of money.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I mean, $3 for the Starship Troopers game. When you do the math, I would justify $3 in a heartbeat.
Yeah, because normally an individual table is $5.
All right, still $5. I mean, I spent that last time I was there.
Yeah, if you find 6 tables in a pack that you're interested in, you might as well get the full season and get 4 more.
Yep.
Yeah. I like it. Math.
Anyway, I know that took up a lot of time. There are a couple of quick news bits that we could go over. Xbox backward compatibility has had 5 new games added to it. The first 3 are kind of like, what the fuck? In Frogger 2, Puzzle Geddon, and Fairy Legends of Avalon.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you get a big one with Final Fight Double Impact.
Okay.
And then Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut now works, which is big news because that is a 2-disc game.
Interesting.
So that
I'm gonna have to leave now. I have things to do.
Other news hitting is that Disney is officially killing off Disney Infinity.
I know. So here, I wanted to ask this question to you guys. Do you think this is going to cause a short-term bubble for the Infinity toys?
No.
Like, you don't think? You think Disney's got flooded the market enough that people aren't going to like start snatching them up?
I think it tanks.
I think you're going to see Toys R Us and GameStop and everyone else do a clearance on them, and then that's it.
Mm-hmm.
There might be a handful out there that will have some kind of value, but it won't be stuff that you could find in store. It'll be the limited shit.
So the collectors, the stuff that's going to sell for too much money in a couple of years isn't going to be the store stuff. It's going to be the limited editions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yeah, Disney Infinity shutting down. Avalanche Software is being closed. Like
That's
300 people getting laid off. They will release 2 final packs for the game, Alice Through the Looking Glass and Finding Dory. Disney is basically exiting video game publishing. They're going to just license their shit out to other companies, and that's it.
Which is a hit and miss, because like licensing out, because they've already licensed out the Star Wars games, which I'm like, okay, license it out to somebody who cares. Oh, to EA.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I'm excited to see what Respawn does with Star Wars, but we'll see.
Yeah, but it's I think it's smart in their move, because the whole business projections, all that shit, and their money right now is solidly in movies. I mean, they're just making so much right now. Why even worry about taking a loss with games?
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's the same. It's the same could be said about like when everybody complains that Valve won't put out a new game. They're just like, well, they don't need to because Steam is rolling in more than enough money that they don't have to risk anything to bring out a game.
Yeah, but again, I think someone did the math and went, we'll make more money long-term licensing our stuff to actual existing developers than we will continuing our own game studio.
Yeah,
so
but the Avalanche thing definitely, that's huge.
That sucks ass. But from a business standpoint, I know where they're coming from. It's just, it's shitty that they're not going to at least try and find something, for the Avalanche guys.
Do you think the Avalanche guys will get picked up from another company?
I'm sure someone will pick them up. If they're good employees, they'll be picked up somewhere else.
Yeah, it was just like any other job. They're laid off now, so the good ones should get a job. But I don't know that all. And who knows? Some of them might just be like, "Well, fuck, I'm out of the business now," and move on to other.
I'm honestly not too concerned because it's not like Avalanche put out any massive game. They were very much a Disney studio that had fairly games.
Yeah, but then I thought Avalanche did something a little bit bigger.
No.
Oh.
Nope.
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
There might be maybe Avalanche Studios. I'll tell you, Avalanche Software, their games developed as a subsidiary of Disney were Chicken Little, Ace in Action, Meet the Robinsons, Bolt, Hannah Montana, Toy Story 3, Cars 2, and the Disney Infinity games.
Yeah,
bullshit.
Yeah, Avalanche Studios did Just Cause, Mad Max.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big difference. Big difference.
Okay, that's why I was so confused on that story, because I heard that and I was like, wait, that's a big publisher. Like,
yeah, the first thing on the Avalanche Software Wikipedia is not to be confused with Avalanche Studios.
Yes,
okay, good.
Well, here's the thing: Avalanche Studios has a now hiring post on their front page, so maybe some people will be able to switch over there. Not even have to change their business card by much.
Oh, one's in Sweden, one's in America. So.
Well, I mean, they'd have to travel, but.
A little bit more news. Kinect owners can rejoice. Our friends at Virtual Air Guitar Company are putting out a brand new Kinect game in June called Kung Fu for Kinect. It looks interesting. It looks neat. I got the email about it. They said that, where's the email? It says review codes won't be available until early June, but everyone on our priority press list will receive one when we get them. I asked if we're not on the press list, how if we could be considered for the game codes when they're ready. They said that was the priority press list, so don't worry. We have one priority. Awesome.
Wonderful.
Nice.
So that I guess we are awesome. So
I guess we're awesome.
We will be covering that one next month sometime. Probably me, since Chris
I don't even have a
might
Kinect.
not have a room.
Oh no, I'll have a room. I just don't have
room
a
in
Kinect.
general. I thought you had one.
I don't have a Kinect.
Star Trek Online is going to be hitting the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 this fall. So Trekkie fans will have a new MMO to lose themselves in.
We'll get to MMO talk later.
And the final bit of news that I have is Minecraft Wii U Edition is getting a free update now that includes the Super Mario Mashup Pack. It includes 40 Mario skins, including Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, Wario, the Koopalings, Kamek. Includes a handful of music from Super Mario 64, Mario-themed blocks and skins. The retail version of the Wii U version of Minecraft is going to hit stores June 17th for $30. The Mario Pack will be included. And again, all of that stuff, if you already have Minecraft on the Wii U, it is a free update. Not a penny for all of that stuff.
That's cool.
So Nintendo and Microsoft got themselves a nice little release right there for free for you Wii U owners.
That's very cool.
Yeah, that's all the news I got. I don't know what the fuck else you want to talk about. We're going on over 2.5 hours here.
What are you guys playing?
Shit for review. All day, every day.
So I started replaying Fallout seriously last weekend because I was super excited for Far Harbor. And then I see my Xbox downloading Far Harbor, and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. So I'm leveling up, and I'm reading Twitter. Okay, you got to finish this thing before you can unlock it. And I do it, and I'm like, well, where the fuck is it? Where's my Far Harbor? And then I finally actually read past like the second sentence, and they're like, oh, it's to be released next week.
Yeah, it probably pre-downloaded.
Yeah, so I'm prepped for Far Harbor now.
Well, too bad you won't be able to talk about it with us.
I'll be too busy playing it, probably.
So, yeah, happy. I guess this is going to be it.
Oh, I'm not playing anything.
We don't care.
Well, you were playing
it is no longer your time, Chris. We're going to end the show. Happy, I'm going to thank you for spending 100 episodes with us. I'm incredibly, incredibly bummed that of all the things in your life that you're focusing on, we get the boot, but I understand that you got to do it. Makes you happy. I'm bummed about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super duper stoked that this was the decision I came to, but hey, thanks for having me on for 100 fucking episodes, dude. I still really don't know what the hell we've been talking about this whole time.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's kind of the point.
So I'm bummed I'm not going to be on it. I'm going to miss doing it, but I'm not going to miss being the guy who has no fucking clue about video games.
I'm going to miss having someone else to play games that I don't have time for.
Well, I'm still available for multiplayer.
Okay.
I'm not just disconnecting from the internet.
I honestly don't know what your plans are. I just got hit with this on Monday, so I don't really know what's been going on with you, what's going on in your head, what's going on with your plans. I was super stoked that hopefully you were getting more involved with this, and then you'd be coming back to Pennsylvania in the summer, and we would go hardcore with this, and now just everything is up in the air. So
yeah. Welcome to my last 6 months. On the plus side, I get to take legal amphetamines in the morning, so I got that going for me.
I got that going for me, which is nice.
12-hour release amphetamines.
So before we get to the true final words, Pappy, do you have any closing remarks to end your time on this show?
You're losing me as a co-host, but you're not losing me as a friend. And I'm still
Says who?
I'm still gonna hide your.
You fucking piece of shit.
That's fair.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, on the list of things you've said to me, that's not even top 10 worst.
Nowhere near it.
No.
That's how he says I love you.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to show. He doesn't know how to show like love, so he swears while forcing you to cuddle with him.
Pretty much. You're gonna fucking love me, boy. You're gonna fucking love me.
To Jesus. Mm-hmm. 'Cause your ass belongs to me.
I think that's the perfect way to end a show.
Well, the only real way this show is going to end is hopefully Norg has the time to record the farewell to you that we talked about. I figure with you leaving and this being episode 190, it was a good episode to get a new intro theme. Randall's going to be working on a new logo for us, so we're just getting a whole new beginning here.
Hell yeah.
We didn't even mention Beardo. Did we debut Beardo's?
Well, I didn't play it yet, but
okay.
Because I guess I could play it now. I think it'll come through on the show.
I mean, you already tweeted that this is going to debut it.
Oh, is it happening?
Yeah,
it'll be on this episode.
Yeah, this episode's MP3 will.
Well, I hope you liked it. I heard it. It was swell.
But yeah, Norg, take us out.
So, regarding Pappy, we'd like to start out by saying that we have had a fabulous host on this show. It wasn't Pappy, but we have had a fabulous host on this show. So apparently Pappy is leaving the SML podcast. Something about overextending himself. More like frantically overextending his hand all over his throbless, flaccid member is more like it. Am I right? Seriously, what the fuck is he leaving for? Greener pastures? Now, the last thing we want to do here is actually hurt Pappy. It's on the list, but it's the last thing on the list. Joe Cam was telling me he's going to feel utterly horrible without him. Almost as horrible as still having him around. He had diarrhea of the mouth and constipation of the ideas. He couldn't even help me fix my lawnmower. So today, we salute the departure of Pappy Smeary. I think that's his full name. I saw that written on a bathroom wall somewhere. And we leave you with this bit of advice. Clean mind, clean body. Take your pick.